Man, I'm tired.
Gamers. You didn't even have class today. And you're like more dead than when you had class.
You're doing the Skype.
Yeah.
Welcome to this episode of Trash Taste, where I don't know what we're talking about today, but I'm joined by the boys, who are also don't know what we're talking about today.
It's good to have a normal episode. Like, we've had a few now where, God, I'm finding it hard to talk now. Jesus Christ, I need to fire up my brain.
There were so many things that I wanted to talk about like a week or 2 weeks ago, but we just couldn't because we had like themed episodes.
Yeah.
Like, okay, for example, I'm going to go right into the topic.
Sure. Okay. I've had a few topics that I want to talk about as well, but we can just quick fire through every topic that we wanted to talk about.
Go for it.
About 3 weeks ago, I was scrolling on the YouTube.com app.
Yeah.
At like, midnight, pretty late. I was getting ready for bed. For some reason, this genre of videos started getting recommended to me, which was about like dangerous caves.
Okay.
Okay.
You ever seen these videos?
No.
Maybe I have.
Basically, it's just about caves that people go, I think it's just literally called caving, where they go in and explore caves.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Is it like uncharted and unexplored caves? Or is
There's
it like,
sometimes uncharted ones, sometimes explored ones.
Yeah.
And it was just one of those things where I was like, I do not understand why people do this. Like, I could not fathom it. So there was this one video, I can't remember what it was called. It was talking about a cave in the UK.
Yeah.
And this cave had a section in it, right, where the person has to crawl through the cave on their like you cannot turn around.
Yeah.
Right. So you are crawling like this, right?
Yeah.
For like a mile.
Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
feel like I've seen that. And it's like just wide enough to fit a single person. right?
one person can go in it and you can't turn around until you get to the end of the part or the middle section where there's a part where you can stand up and turn around.
That
and it was like
sounds horrible.
Yeah, to myself, I'm like, oh, wow.
That is a claustrophobe's worst
I
nightmare.
watch some of these videos and I get anxiety from like
I was-
not even watching it, but just from the idea, thinking about it. And some people do this with uncharted caves as well, which to me just blows my fucking mind. And I get if we don't do it, somebody's gonna have to be crazy enough to do
like
it.
who dead ass looks at like a hole that just goes on forever and is like, I'm gonna crawl through that.
Yeah, so it's horrifying because there was like the thing about this video, and the cave is blocked off now, so you can't get into it.
Right.
You still can in different ways apparently. But what ended up happening was there was a flood while 4 people were inside the cave.
Oh.
And yeah, they obviously drowned because they were stuck in the part where you were crawling.
This reminds me of that scene from Japan Sinks.
Yeah, it sounded horrible. And I was like, I have seen, I've watched documentaries about horrible stuff. You watch some videos about horrible stuff, like all kind of horrible stuff. And nothing got my like anxiety going like this.
Yeah.
And it was just awful. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And I did see there's YouTubers who their whole channel is that they just explore caves that have never been explored, which is like simultaneously the coolest thing, but also why the fuck would you? Why didn't you just like review stuff? I don't know. Why do you like react?
You could have made your YouTube channel around anything else.
It's so cool though, because like you sit there and there's someone was asking one of these YouTubers like, why do you do it? What are you climbing caves? Like, because it's like the only place on earth where like no one can communicate to you and no one knows anything about, and it's like a secret to discover. And then that way I kind of understand it.
Yeah.
Go to space. I don't know about that joke. Oh yes, I'll get on my rocket
I
ship.
feel it's
Joe.
a lot cooler.
Maybe. But there was this one video about this this cave in, I think it was Utah.
Right.
It's called like the Nutty Putty Cave.
Right.
And that's because apparently the soil is of a texture.
Nutty putty.
Yeah, it's like
Nutty putty.
Yeah, so apparently the cave is like putty.
That just sounds like a euphemism.
Right?
doesn't it?
And there's like, so let me paint a picture of this cave. So it's basically this cave is essentially just one cave that just goes down deep, and it was a pretty well explored cave. So most of this cave was all really well documented and mapped out. So so it wasn't a cave for like super experts. It was like, oh, if you like caving, you can go in it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And there's 2 path points in this cave. One where you're supposed to go down, and one that is too thin to go down.
Right.
And the other part is called like the birth canal in this cave. Because it's so tight, right? That you have to grab, once you get your hands through this cave, you have to pull yourself vertically down because it's too tight. So you have to pull yourself. So what happened was, right, the reason why this cave is now closed and why it's famous is that there was a story where this guy went down the wrong way. And he thought, because it was getting really tight, that, oh, I'm in the right point because this is the birth canal. So instead of thinking, maybe I should like stop, wait for my mate, he's like, all right, I should keep going. So he keeps going down a point that's too small and just gets stuck head first down a cave.
Oh my God.
And we're talking like proper like tight, the whole thing. And it's really brutal because this guy's stuck there for 12 hours and there's like tons of rescue attempts from like people and eventually just dies because obviously he's upside down for 12 hours.
Yeah.
And it's just horrible hearing this. And also, could you imagine being a rescue worker? Like having to get someone out of a cave?
I feel like being a rescue worker in that sense, you are as likely to die rescuing the person.
So at one point, one of the rescue worker gets stuck with him. Because he tries to go down the same way just to pull him out and get stuck. But luckily they get the rescue worker out. But then I was thinking like, is this just a bunch of people who are rescue workers who are trained in like cave rescue? Because that seems like harder than the actual caving.
Yeah, right. Like you already have to be good at exploring a cave, right?
I mean, how can you even be properly trained for an environment like that?
Yeah, because surely I feel like that's such a specialized job.
Yeah.
Because you have to set up a bunch of winches in a cave that's not set up for,
Also, like what life choices make you decide, you know what? I'm going to do something that's even more dangerous than cave diving, and that's helping people who get stuck cave diving.
You know, at least, people who skydive or, do risky stuff like that, at least you get a quick death if you fuck up.
You're right.
But with like caving...
That's the part that fucked me up, is that like if you're stuck, you're stuck.
It's just a slow death and you're in a tight space and... I'm getting anxiety.
I'm not even claustrophobic and that bugs me out.
I was like, exploring caves, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah.
I'm down for that. Yeah. Exploring caves where once I go in, I can't turn around. Yeah. That scares the shit out of me. That sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
I want to turn. I want to be like, fuck, go back.
Yeah.
Because if also, more often than not, you don't, it's recommended obviously not to go alone.
Yeah.
What happens if the guy in front of you starts panicking?
Yeah.
And you're the one
nothing you can
behind
do.
Yeah. You're like, because then you're going to start panicking because you're like, fuck, I'm stuck. The guy in front of me is stuck because he's freaking out. Should I be freaking out? He told me this was a good idea. Fuck.
Like in the horror movies where, you're in a group, there's a group, and then someone says, oh, let's split up. That's the smart thing to do. And you think, who in real life would actually do that? And I feel like these are the people who are just like making the decisions where you're just questioning, why the fuck are you making this decision right now? This seems like a really stupid
That's
decision.
why I hate most like modern horror movies because they always throw in that trope as if people watching this in the cinemas are like, finally someone made a good choice in a horror movie to split up.
Also, another scary thing about being stuck underground, no signal. So you can't call for help.
Yeah.
The only reason in that nutty putty thing is why someone got help because his brother was with him and was like, oh, he's stuck, and went up to get help.
Yeah.
But that's brutal. Imagine watching just your family member just die.
Just slowly die.
Yeah, that's horrible. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't fucking imagine it.
Sorry to start this podcast on a morbid note.
And to top it off, it's not even like a cool sounding place to die either. It's like...
Is that cool? What are you like, bro, at least die cool, bro. What the fuck?
It's like, my brother got stuck in a cave.
No, it's like, there's like a difference between like, oh yeah, my friend got stranded in Death Valley and died versus my brother got stuck in the nutty putty and died. It's like, it's a little unfortunate.
It's sad as well, and part of the story as well, it's like he just had like two newborn kids or something. And it's like, why? It's like the video starts. He had a kid. He decided to celebrate by going caving. And I'm like, no. Why?
Yeah, it's funny because I've been recommended like, I would say not like a similar genre of YouTube videos, but just like in the opposite sense, which is just YouTubers who just climb really high places.
The urban climbers.
Like,
I kind of get that. I don't know why.
I don't.
I don't like. Similarly, how watching these cave divers, you get like claustrophobic. I get vertigo watching these people just climb really high places.
I also have a fear of heights, so just watching it.
I can understand that because I'm like, all right, one, normally climbing is like, arguably climbing a tall skyscraper is probably safer than going down a cave that's unexplored.
I mean, there's a difference between the feeling of being trapped and just, falling from a very high place. I can see why you get that sense of freedom, which is exactly the opposite.
Yeah,
of
that's
what
I
you
can
get in
understand that. And, you get the view and it's pretty cool. I kind of get it, even though I know it's insane.
Not gonna lie. Either way, finna pass on.
Because I got recommended this video, and the title of this video was reflecting on the day I almost died. And I'm just like, oh man, it's getting a bit too real here. And it's just this guy who is climbing up this really tall building in Hong Kong, right? And it's just like this POV shot, and it's just him doing commentary over it.
Right.
And so he climbs up this really tall building in the middle of kind of like dawn. So before the sun rises. Right. And by the time he gets to the top, the sun starts rising. And so you have this really tall skyscraper, and on top of this skyscraper, there's just like this really rickety scaffolding that goes like off like another mile or something. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so he starts climbing up this when it's like dark, and then by the time he gets to the top, the sun has risen and he can see the view. And then it starts raining.
Oh no!
And he's up there by himself. And in the commentary, he says that I had two choices. Either I could wait up there, wait out the rain, and just kind of risk someone would see me and getting a rescue attempt, and I'd probably get arrested. Or I could just attempt to climb down, even though I would be more likely to slip off and die. So of course, he decides to climb down. like getting arrested and being rescued.
This is literally the horror movie Split Up or Stay Together.
No, that's what I'm saying, right? These people make the decisions to do what we see as like the dumber decision.
Well, I feel like if you're the type of person who's going to climb up a skyscraper, you're going to be the type of guy who climbs down a skyscraper.
I mean, I guess in his head he was like, either way, I have to climb down, so I might as well just do it now.
I think there also is a fair amount of people who would rather die than be arrested.
Maybe.
I think there is. I genuinely believe there's a section of people who are like, I don't want a criminal record so bad, I'd rather not exist.
I'm going to die here before I turn into a villain.
I think there's people who would rather take that risk, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
Because in some countries, especially, man, you get that shit, your life's ruined. You know.
True.
Yeah.
America. I'm kidding. No, most developed countries. Big sad.
Yeah, I mean, like it's. I find it interesting to watch people go through this stuff, but yeah, I mean, I could never do it myself. I think the most I would want to do is skydive and maybe bungee jump, but the more I hear about bungee jumping, the less I want to go through it.
For me, bungee jumping is a hard pass.
I think because bungee jumping, it very much depends on where you're doing it and what company you're doing it with. Or is it some dude and his mate with a truck and a bungee?
Are you in a country with health and safety regulations?
Yeah, exactly.
That's the biggest thing I think about.
I hear people like doing it in like places where I'm like, I don't think you should be bungee jumping.
I've seen and heard more bungee jumping accidents happen than skydiving accidents. So just like weighing out the ratio, I find that skydiving might be slightly better.
Also, people bungee jump over like water more often than not, and you don't want to slap that water.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
yeah. Bye skin.
Water fucking hurts when you slap it at that stage. Yeah. That speed, sorry.
I mean, it hurts when you like belly flop from like 2 meters up. Yeah. let alone like 30 meters.
I do wonder, I'm like, what happens in your life? Are you born wanting to do extremes like explore caves or go to extreme heights? Is that like something you're born with, or is that something you like?
That has to be something you're born with,
or
right?
is that something that like over your life something happens when you're a kid and it just, you know?
No, because like I feel that, you know, from a young age, there's always like the kids who are, you know, going to be like, yeah, I'm going to climb this really tall tree. Watch me do it.
I was like that as a kid. You know? I would climb anything. And then I don't know what, I think maybe the first time you fall over badly and you're like, fuck, this shit actually hurts if you fall.
I think it's the difference between when you fall off that tree and you hurt yourself. It's the difference between fuck, I'm never doing that again, or fuck, that was worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
Can you pinpoint the moment at any point in your life where you've like, you know exactly where your fear came from for something?
I mean,
your B, right?
My B one. Yeah. I still have that memory to this day.
Yeah.
For me, well, I'm afraid of heights, but like not too bad. Like it depends.
But you could be. I think like they did an experiment on kids, right? That some kids are born, like people are born with naturally a fear of heights.
Yeah,
right. But I feel that my fear of heights came from the fact that at my parents' place we have this kind of spiral staircase that goes down,
shit, you fall.
and I fell down that.
Oh no!
Yeah, and luckily I didn't like break any bones or like hurt myself that badly. But I think I was only maybe like 2 or 3 years old when I did, and it's the earliest memory I have of me just falling down. And I'm pretty sure that caused a slight maybe like fear of height or something.
Doesn't it scare you that like little things that happen to you as a kid can just like fuck you up?
Yeah.
It makes me scared to have kids. I'm like, whoa, what if I like accidentally give him like too much broccoli and he won't have chicken and broccoli ever again, man? Like I've traumatized him, right? How do I know what's going to traumatize the kid?
I love how that's the first thing you come up with.
I don't know.
I would be traumatized with chicken and broccoli.
If my kid, right, doesn't eat the fucking crusts, I'm going to be sitting there on the table with like the bottle of whiskey being like, where did they all go wrong?
Fuck, where's the fuck go back button?
I used to be really claustrophobic. I don't really get it anymore, but I used to be really much a kid. I know exactly why. And it took me like years to realize like, oh, that probably was traumatizing. So one time, our parents were out and it was me and my brothers messing around and we thought, bro, that's just a suitcase. we can do so much fun stuff with a suitcase
Right.
for some reason. So for some reason, I think me and my brother decided we're going to take turns locking on each other in the suitcase. Right? And then, so I don't know why we decided to do this. Again, we were like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
So I got locked in the suitcase. Bear in mind, for some reason, I thought I should eat my Cocoa Puffs in the suitcase. So I was in the
Surprised you had the
suitcase.
space for it.
I was in the suitcase just eating Cocoa Puffs, right?
Yeah.
My
What
brothers.
was the point of this? What'd you get out of
I
this?
legitimately don't know why we did this. I just have this memory. And then they
It's just a
started.
kid thing to do,
Yeah,
right?
and then my older brother thought it'd be funny to start flipping the suitcase with Cocoa Puffs. And then that was where I drew the line. I was like, get me out of
Yeah.
here. And then he wouldn't let me out for like 10 minutes. And I was like,
I feel
think
as
was
well.
traumatized.
I feel
Yeah.
as well with that kind of like childhood trauma. It really depends on like what your siblings did to you. As
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm very glad that I had siblings because I feel
Right.
like, man, I don't know. I learned a lot of valuable lessons.
I think it's because me and my sister, we kind of like think the same way in a lot of things. So like we wouldn't do something to the other person that we would hate to
See,
do.
this
right?
is, if you have,
Only child. Woo!
when you have like 3 brothers, like I said, man, it's like fucking WrestleMania.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, because we would like genuinely have like full fist fights. Where
Yeah.
We'd like punch each other in the face over stuff.
Yeah, I hear about this with like Sydney and Russell had a similar thing where
Yeah.
like apparently they would just like punch the shit out of each other,
Because-
and that's just like sibling love, I guess.
Like we didn't do it
What the-
often, but it was like if stuff got really like bad, like we had a really bad argument, like we'd probably end up fighting.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to the fear thing, do you know what fear like fascinates me? I forgot what the name is, like tyrophobia or something.
I have
The
that,
the
yeah.
one with like the
Oh,
holes.
yeah.
trypophobia?
Yeah, trypophobia.
Yeah.
The one where you like where you see like a lot of small
Yeah,
holes and
that one
something,
makes
right?
me feel
Because
disgusting.
like I didn't have a fear of this, and I think that literally was a fear that got garnered because of the internet.
Yeah.
Because because we had like the lily plants in Thailand, and I grew up with them, so you know the little seeds
Yeah,
that
yeah,
grow up in the
yeah,
plant.
yeah.
So I was used to seeing this site everywhere, so I had no fear of it. And then watching enough fucking YouTube videos about it, about this fear,
Yeah.
I slowly gained it over time because I just saw these different like fucking
Disgusting,
disgusting
yeah.
Photoshop
For me, it wasn't even like a YouTube video. It was literally just typing trypophobia onto Google Images, and just the first thing you see is just this row.
Mudan,
of
don't fucking
rows.
show any
Don't
pictures.
show it. Don't show it in the video. But you guys, if you want to, then go for it. I'm warning you though, it's fucking gross.
I'm kind of glad that I had that though, because that made me like understand. Because you know, when I was growing up, I didn't really have like, again, even though I was claustrophobic, I'm not really anymore. I don't really give a shit now. Like I feel that helped me understand when people have fears that don't make sense.
Yeah.
Because before that, I didn't really get it. Like, if someone was scared of like falling, I'm like, oh, it's just a fall, man. You'll be fine. It's a little bit of height. It's safe. But now I get it because from that, I'm like, this makes no sense. Why a bunch of little circles make me feel gross. But now I get it.
My fear of heights is really weird because it's only like certain levels of heights that get me queasy.
Because you know, like if you go up to like the Tokyo Tower,
Yeah.
there's parts of it where the floor is made out of glass.
Yeah.
So you can see down. Is that okay?
I'm totally okay with that.
Okay, yeah,
But
okay.
you take me onto the balcony of like a 10-story building and make me look down, that fucks me up.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I think it might be because like, say with like, you know, Tokyo Tower, like the glass thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know that is safe, right? Like you could stand
You
on
hope.
that. You can jump
hope.
on
You-
that. Like,
Man, you trust the engineering, man.
yeah, I do. It's like they wouldn't. This is Japanese standards of engineering. They wouldn't put this here if there was a fear that somebody could jump on this and you could break through it, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I know I can stand on that, look down on it, and fuck around with it because I know that's safe.
Fuck around with it. What are you doing? Getting your chisel out?
No, I could I'd fucking stomp on it and jump around and stuff just to like freak out whoever I'm with, and I'm fine with that. That doesn't scare me at all because I know that's safe. But you put me onto like a balcony,
Right.
and I know nobody won't do it, but the fear of somebody could come behind me right now and just push me over the edge.
That's what I
That
have.
scares me.
No,
That's strange,
I
yeah. I
have
know
that
what you're
fear whenever I stand on the platform edge in Japanese trains.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Because I've seen enough anime where the main character gets shoved off. And there's nothing they can do, and
Yeah.
I feel that. So whenever I'm like standing on the edge of a platform, I literally have to stand at a 90-degree angle because otherwise I just feel uncomfortable. I feel like someone could push me on that.
push this.
Yeah, exactly. Because at least if someone tries to push me on the side, I can like try to stop the momentum. But there's literally nothing I can do.
I don't walk because like normally the platform is so full, right? So and people don't stand on the yellow part, which is like the danger zone.
Yeah.
But like if I need to get to the other side, I'll walk on the danger zone. But I won't walk there if the train's coming.
Yeah.
Because I'm not risking being nudged or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, if there's no train, if I get pushed on the tracks, I'll just get back up. Someone will grab me, right?
I don't know, man. I've seen someone get like falling onto the tracks before.
Really?
Yeah.
What happened? Did people help him?
Oh, I mean, obviously, like they have those like emergency buttons that alerts everybody. So, like, I think it was obviously like some drunk dude just out of his mind.
Yeah,
trying to, like, get
I
on.
think there's posters all around the Japanese stations being like, "Oh, don't be drunk." Don't
I think it's
fall.
something like 60 to 70% of people who fall onto the tracks are usually because they're drunk.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, but yeah, I saw some dude like kind of stumble around, and I was like, "Oh god, this guy's getting pretty close to the edge." And then, sure enough, he just went.
Oh wait, there was someone at our station one time. I remember seeing that.
Oh really?
Yeah, there was a bunch of stretches and stuff. Unfortunately, I think they fell and hit their head pretty bad.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, right?
The gap is big.
It's
between
really deep. Yeah. So if you're not careful, you can hurt yourself even if there's no train coming. But yeah.
Do you guys have this like unfounded like feeling or fear or whatever whenever you see like a big red emergency button that you shouldn't press, and your mind's like, what if I press that?
What? No, I don't get that.
I totally get that. Yeah. Like every time, like you would go through the school hallways and there'd be like the fire alarm button.
Yeah.
Every time I would just stop and look at it and be like, God, I want to press this.
I've never gotten this urge.
Because it's like I feel that's an experience that only like the 0.1% of kids you knew ever got to experience, right? Like
Well, you just want to press the button.
Yeah.
that was almost a bragging right as a kid. I feel being like, yeah, I've pressed this button before. And be like, whoa, how was it? It's like, of course, it's like pressing any button.
Because I don't know what the emergency buttons or the fire alarm buttons you had in your school, but in like British school or my school, we had like this. It wasn't a button; it was like a very thin piece of glass that you had to break. And I always wondered, what does it feel like to break that piece of glass? Like, I just want to know. I just want to know what happens when I break that piece of glass.
It's like, what does it feel like? Like, does it hurt? Is it hard?
Like, how thin is it? How much force would it take to press this button?
I do think, you know, when you're on a bus sometimes, you see that little puny little hammer.
Yeah.
There'll be like this giant window, and there'll be this tiny little like it looks like a little pick, an ice pick. And it's
That's another one. Every time I came back from school
true.
and I saw that little hammer, I was like, I want to use that hammer.
Yeah, because I think what happens is when you literally that thing like touches the thing, it just shatters.
Yeah.
I was on a bus one time when the windows exploded.
Really?
Really?
Yeah. So what happened is I was near the back of the bus, and it was in university, and it was a varsity event. So they drove the bus to the like 1 hour university over from Swansea to Cardiff.
Yeah.
And when we were on our way back, the bus driver went down the wrong road. Now, as you probably are aware, roads in the UK, if you don't go on the right one with the bus, it's way too narrow.
Yeah.
Right.
So what happened is that he went down the wrong road, and he had to turn around, but it was like the road was like this, right? It's like a 3-point like.
Yeah.
So he went down this way, and so he backed it up the hill to try and turn around. And as he was trying to swing the bus back around, the house that was in like the end of this road had like a pointing out like thing on the edge of their property,
Right.
like a tile. And so as the bus is turning, you could see, I saw, because I was sitting here like on this side, and that was the side where the window was.
Right.
You could just see this thing coming.
Right.
And I think they were like started screaming when they saw it because it was getting real close, and it just went and just exploded the window.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then the guy obviously heard the fucking shatter and was like, oh. So he backed up, goes to try it again. Boom, other window goes. And there's glass everywhere. But
Wait, was that like near any of the students or?
yeah, but they all ran to the other side.
Oh, fucking
Okay.
hell.
So it was terrifying. And then the bus driver didn't stop or anything. He just like
I'm gonna try this again.
he smashed, I think, in total 3 of the big ass windows on the side of the bus, and then just drove back like
Jesus
normal.
Christ.
I'm sitting here like glass everywhere, like, what do I do?
Did the glass explode on someone?
Yeah, but the thing is, right, the windows, it's car windows do this as well. When they smash, they're like, the way they're made, the windows smash into like non-sharp.
They're like
Yeah,
blunt,
yeah.
they're like blunt little
like
bits,
balls. So
Yeah,
they
yeah.
don't like cut anyone.
That's scary.
It was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
So what happened afterwards?
What happened was that we just drove the last 20 minutes with no windows on the side, and then we got off, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?" And we all went and was like, "What the fuck just happened?" And I'm sure that guy lost his job.
Oh, yeah, probably.
No idea what happened. University never said anything. We didn't hear anything.
How old were you guys?
I was like 20.
Oh, okay.
Jeez.
Oh,
This
so
is
this was like a university bus.
This is my 3rd year of university, and I was like,
Okay.
"What the fuck?" What the fuck? I just went on with my day. I was like, all right, that was weird.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Never heard anything about that. Felt like I deserved an apology for having glass flash in my face.
Was it loud?
Dude, yes.
Yeah.
You ever heard glass explode?
No, I haven't. I have heard like probably the loudest sound I ever heard was have you guys ever had like lightning strikes like hit really close to where you were?
No,
Yeah.
actually, no.
Really?
Like you could feel the shockwave at that point.
So I had one moment where like I legitimately thought I was gonna die, but it was in high school and like the front part of our school has this like big courtyard looking thing, and it's kind of on an uphill climb.
Right.
So if you're standing like right at the top of the hill and you can basically look across the entirety of the school, which is
Right.
kind of cool. So then me and a couple of my friends were there, and it was like very lightly raining. And you could hear thunder off in the distance, but it wasn't like a thunderstorm, right? So everybody was outside just kind of chilling. And we had this like one really massive pine tree. I want to say it's maybe like, 15, 20 meter tall pine tree. It's huge, just like on the other side of the school.
Right.
And I was looking at it for some reason, just kind of like waiting for the bus. Just
Bro,
like,
what a beautiful pine.
yeah, no, like, because it's so massive that, it basically just fills up your entire view.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it was just this like flash of white. And the largest fucking crashing sound I've ever fucking heard. And what turned out was a lightning bolt had struck that pine tree.
Yeah.
And that pine tree was probably only about like 20 meters away from me.
Oh, wow.
But it was fucking massive. And it was crazy as well because like we're at the top of the hill, so you can see all the other students across the courtyard. And everybody simultaneously was like that.
Yeah, obviously. I think I'd
Yeah.
shit myself.
Yeah. And but it was so weird because that entire crash happened, and for like 20 seconds, the entire courtyard was just silent. And we're kind of just like standing around, and then fucking 7th grader, like, kids whose balls haven't dropped yet, were suddenly like, ah!
Just got fucking shell shocked
And
and
it was
got
just
PTSD.
this fucking panic across the school. All the teachers like shitting themselves. The tree was on fire.
Yeah.
So like straight up, it was just
Bro.
like a fire. Like this 20-meter tall pine tree was just on fire.
God
Some
damn.
satanic shit.
But it was crazy because it was like I'd say between a 5-minute span, 5-second span, it went from beautiful large pine tree to just a burning 20-meter log.
Bam, bro.
Fucking crazy.
Damn.
This episode is sponsored by Honey.
Guys, listen. We all shop online. And we've all seen the promo code field taunt us at the checkout. But thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past, gentlemen. Imagine it.
I am.
You're shopping on one of your favorite sites.
I
Yeah.
can see it.
When you I can see it.
Keep going.
When you check out, the Honey button drops down, and all you have to do is click
Oh my God.
apply coupons.
Oh my God. It's
Wait a
everything I
few
wanted.
seconds as Honey searches for coupons it can find for that site.
My God, keep going.
If Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop.
Oh my God.
Gentlemen, I gotta know.
Okay.
What did Honey save you money on?
Pizza.
No way. Get out of here.
Clothes.
Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
That's practically everything in the industry.
Everything you can think of, Honey can save you money on.
But gentlemen, I gotta ask, how much did you save using Honey?
About $20 on a
what?
pizza.
Oh my God.
Yeah, because pizza in Japan is expensive.
Yeah, I mean, I would take any saving.
Yeah, I could buy a whole other pizza with
Go
it.
on, what about you?
I saved $15 on online delivery for my clothes.
Wow, I saved $15 on a new boom mic.
Ooh.
I know, look at me go.
But did you know, gentlemen, that Honey has found its over 17 million members, over $2 billion
Wow.
in
Get
savings.
out of here, Mr.
Bruh.
Beast. We found a new king of YouTube.
If you don't have Honey already, I will come to your house and install it for you. But you could also be straight up missing out on free savings. It's literally free and installs in just a few seconds.
And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid, and you'll be doing the boys a solid as well by supporting this podcast.
So get Honey for free right now at joinhoney.com/trash taste. That's joinhoney.com/trash taste.
Back to the episode.
It really was scary. I mean, again, like that was probably. I thought I was gonna go deaf because it was so fucking loud. It was insanely loud. The other loudest sound I've ever heard was
Clap my ass cheeks.
yeah, that
yeah.
too. Of course,
Yeah.
you can't escape from me, Snake. But the other one was we were playing cricket. Obviously,
Of course, as the
There's
Aussie.
gonna be some anime
And-
shit.
we were playing cricket. And have you ever felt like how hard a cricket ball is?
Yeah, I've played
Yes.
cricket.
Yeah, that thing is fucking hard. It's like a rock,
Yeah, it's
basically.
solid.
Yeah, it is a solid piece of whatever it is. But we were playing cricket in school, and I was in the outfield, and one of the kids like kind of smacked it really, really high up into the air. And it was going towards one of my friends. And he was underneath. He was ready to catch it. It's like, come on, catch it. But I think he mistimed it because the sun was in his eyes or something. So the cricket ball landed right on his forehead.
Oh, God.
And the only way I can describe this sound was as if someone in the distance had slapped two pieces of wood together. It was just like this clack sound. And the kid just dropped to the floor. Like we straight up thought he died. Like, cause he just,
that shit is hard, bro.
Yeah. Was that like the fucking Mortal Kombat moment where, you know, like it explodes and like the fucking skull just explodes?
Yeah.
It's like a fucking fatality, right?
Honestly, because it went crack on his forehead and he literally just dropped to the floor.
Right.
And
is he okay?
Yeah, he was fine. Like he had like a massive bruise on his head, but
man, this man's got a dummy thick
yeah,
skull.
yeah. We straight up thought he died. We're like, oh my God.
The hardest I ever hit my head. This is gonna be a strange story. So I was in sex ed.
Okay.
Let me tell the story. All right. So we were in. It was our, I think, second or third class of sex education. Right.
Okay.
So you know how it is. Teachers want to seem cool.
How old are you at this point?
Like 13.
Okay.
So the teacher's like, we want to seem cool.
Yeah.
For this one, you guys can sit on the tables and watch the video. You know, I don't know why. Is it a universal rule where the tables in the science class are taller than the ones in the other classes?
Yeah.
Do you have that as well?
Yeah, because you have like stools.
Yeah,
right?
it's like stools, like large, right? So it's a pretty large table, and we're sitting on it. And so we were watching this, you know, and we were all on the tables, we were all sitting together, you know, with the boys watching sex ed, you know, and the girls, obviously. So, and on this day, I decided that I was going to forego breakfast. I thought, I don't need breakfast. I'm a king. I'm going to go to my sex education mother, and I'm going to watch it, and I don't need no breakfast. So I was feeling a little queasy, but I was like, it's okay. And
you're feeling who's watching the video.
I was feeling queasy before, and then I felt even more queaszy hearing about this stuff.
Okay.
Yeah,
because I was 13, they were like, yeah, so goo comes out of the woman's thing, and I'm like, right, so I'm sitting there, and I'm like, all right, okay. And then I'm suddenly like, I just start feeling like, oh, whoa, stuff's getting blurry. And then I fall on my friend next to me, right? And my friend thinks, classic Connor fucking around. So he just shrugs me off. And so I go from this like pretty high tall table, like I fell on my friend, I just donk my head on this like pure like concrete floor.
Yeah.
And I wake up and I come to and I just hear like screaming, and I'm like, what the fuck? And I look around and all the kids have like ran to the other side of the room.
Right.
And I'm just waiting here like, what the fuck's going on? I can't see shit, like because my eyes are so blurry because I hit my head so hard. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? Like, I'm literally, I remember I sit up and I'm like, what's happening?
You literally fainted from sex ed?
Yeah. I got so much shit for it as well, obviously.
That's such an anime moment.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And obviously in school I was like, Connor fainted because he saw a dick. That's when I started fighting. I'm kidding. And so I couldn't see for like 2 hours.
Right.
My vision was blurry and I was like, fuck, am I blind? But then luckily it came through, and I think I was just very heavily concussed.
You're blinded by the dick.
I got blinded by, they were showing Johnny Sins' first word.
It's like, oh God.
Bro, that's like a death sentence in school, man.
No, it was okay. It was okay. I mean,
so now you know not to skip breakfast.
yeah, that was my bad because I often felt pretty fucking sick all the time. So yeah, that was my
The
bad.
dick just didn't help.
And hearing all this stuff at that age, I was like, fuck, that sounds disgusting. I hate like slime and goo so much. So hearing it come out of like body parts makes me feel so gross. Yeah.
It's the way they phrase it too, right?
Yeah,
because the only thing I remember from my sex education thing, because I think I was like 11 or 12 when I did the first sex education thing. So already it's like for a lot of kids, right?
Yeah.
But like the only thing I remember they taught us, which is the only reason I remember is because it's so fucking weird to this day.
Yeah.
But it was dead ass the first thing the sex education teacher said. It was like, okay, everybody, get your index finger and put it on the inside of your mouth and feel your cheeks. And everyone's like, okay. Doing that, it's like, that's what the inside of a vagina feels.
That's so gross.
And all the girls are like, oh, and all the guys are like, oh, hell yeah.
Well, you went to an all guys school.
No. This is in elementary school.
Elementary school,
Yeah,
right.
but like, it was That's the only thing I remember from Sex Ed.
I just certainly remember what it was that like set me off, and it was like I don't know why the fuck they showed this.
Yeah,
but they were talking about. I know this is way too much information. So here is a timestamp on screen where we skip talking about this stuff. So go and sketch it. Malian's gonna like leave the room. So they were talking about discharge. For girls, right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't enough to just talk about it.
Yeah,
they had this like reenactment of this girl who goes to the toilet and they dead ass do a close-up shot of like white shit on her pants. And I'm like, that's disgusting. Why would you show that? We're like 13. And that's what like made me feel gross.
Yeah. Did you have to watch the obligatory like woman giving birth?
Yeah, I was gonna talk about that because I swear to God, whoever was like editing.
That was on British TV though as well. They showed births.
You serious?
Yeah, there's a whole TV show.
But you had like specialist videos that schools like bought to show at sex.
It's fucking awful. It's so graphic.
Yeah, and I mean, the person who edited like our video, they must have known what they were doing, right? Because so this guy
were fucking with us. 100%.
This old British guy was basically describing the process of a baby coming out of a vagina, right? Oh. And so what they used to describe what happens, the process of this happening, is they take a rubber band, right? He takes a rubber band and he just goes, imagine this is the hole in the vagina, right? This is what happened when a baby comes out. And he literally stretches it like that. And then the class goes, oh, and I shit you not, they then hard cut to like a baby that's just like crowning and just like coming out. And I'm just like, think back to that moment. And I'm just like, I think back to that moment. I'm just like, the fucking editor knew what he was doing there. This is like,
it's not even like a cross dissolve. It's just a hard cut.
It's just a straight up hard cut. He knew exactly what he was doing.
It's just like one of those like, those like whooshes in like that. It's just a fucking baby's head. God, they were so disgusting. I mean, obviously, I'm glad that I was taught this stuff, but at the same time, they gotta go in so goddamn hard on that shit that'll ease us in?
Yeah. It was brutal. No one enjoyed it. No one was like, oh, this is interesting. Everyone's like, no, what? Oh, fuck. No,
I feel like it's a thing that does need to happen though.
Obviously, I'm glad that I taught it because you speak to Americans and sometimes they're like, I have no sex education at all.
Yeah, I mean, I like Sydney learned her sex education through hentai, and I mean,
that's worrying. Right?
That is worrying.
And it's like, what is it like? A lot of the states they just say, oh, abstinence. Wait till marriage. That's legitimately like I think many of the states.
Wait, so I think it depends on the state.
Yeah, there's
is
many
it
states.
is it all mandatory?
No.
Oh, really?
Wow. Many states, the only sex education is abstinence. Promote abstinence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Christian schools. Wow. So it's not like I think in England you have to do it, but you have to teach it by law, right?
Yeah. So every like age 13 gets taught like how to put on a condom. How to do all that shit.
Yeah. How did you get taught? Did you get like the fucking banana?
No, it was so embarrassing. This woman, right? She was like, have you seen Matilda, that movie?
Yeah.
Like, what's that woman called? The devil teacher in that.
I can't remember.
Literally, woman looked like that. Dead ass.
Okay.
Took out this like fucking 12-inch dildo, smacked it on the table, and she was like, "Who wants to put a condom on this? Who wants to try?" And then everyone was like, what the fuck? Why is it so big?
It was like a dead ass dildo.
It was massive. It was huge.
So I got this from my own collection.
That was why like that. I remember that I went home that day and I'm like, what is average dick size? Because I was like, that cannot be normal. That is 12 inches. That is and the girth of it was ridiculous. That was clearly her own personal one.
Yeah, it had to have been. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I had to do the banana.
Yeah, I thought that was just industry standard.
Yeah.
No, she brought it. Maybe there was a banana, and she was like, "No, I'm gonna bring my own."
Let me just bring my Ann Summers like fucking pussy collection.
So like,
dragon dildo.
Because I think what happened was they ended up teaching it like we had so much of it because where I grew up was like the worst place in the UK for teen pregnancies.
Oh really?
There's so many that happened where I grew up. And it was, obviously, the government was like, hey guys, we know you're going to do it. Just please don't have babies.
Yeah. Like, do it properly at the right time.
Remember like a few weeks ago when I was talking about how my mum told me that babies came out with the belly button?
Yeah.
It's like, So like, yeah, she watched the episode and she messages me the day afterwards, reminding me that actually my very first sex ed class, which was in primary school, I can't remember how old I was. I think I was like,
did I have sex ed in primary? I don't think so.
I think I had like a very early sex ed.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I had 2 or 3 during my entire childhood, I think, and it just like every sex ed got like progressively more graphic, like the older you get, which is how it should be. But she reminded me that the first time I learned that babies didn't come out of the belly button and came out of the vagina, I dead ass didn't believe them. Yeah,
You're like, no.
Good joke.
I came home and I remember this so vividly because I remember the very first time I tried lying to my mum, right? And it was like such an innocent little kid lie where I went to the toilet and I didn't wash my hands, and she asked me if I washed my hands, and I said yes. That was the first time, and I attempted a lie in my life.
Right.
It was like the most vanilla lie. And she was like, "Let me smell your hands."
No, my God.
Let me smell your hands. And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
Oh,
The first time I tried lying, I got caught. So that was embedded in me from like a very early age. Just like people don't lie because people get caught when they lie.
Smell your hands.
Yeah. So
so you believed your mom?
yeah. So my mom's like, "All right, I won't punish you this time, but." Let's just make a promise that we're just not going to lie to each other ever. And I like me, bright-eyed, like 5-year-old. I believed her until like I hit teenagehood. Yeah. So I go to this class, and the teachers were telling us how babies came out of the vagina, and I'm just like, actually, miss, I believe that they actually come out of the belly button. I know this. My mum taught me.
No.
And she was trying to tell me, no, they come out down there. Your mum.
I'm sorry, your mother is a liar.
I'm sorry, your mum is wrong. So, me being like the 8 or 10-year-old, I'm like, okay, there are 2 adults in my life that have said 2 different pieces of information. I go back home, and I tell my mum, Mum, the teacher taught me this. She said you were a liar. But you know what? You promised me that we wouldn't lie to each other, so I believe you.
No.
I believe you, mother.
No.
I know that babies come out of the belly button, and
she's just like,
Yikes.
and yeah, she just reminded me that was a thing. I can't actually remember when I realized that babies didn't come out of the belly button. Must have just blanked that out.
That's so
But yes,
good.
thank you, mother, for lying to me from a young age. I know you're a liar now.
I remember one time I had like a bit of hair sticking up, and for some reason, when I put like water in it, it didn't go down.
right.
And I was like, fuck, that's real fucking annoying. And I'm like 10 years old, and I'm like, I'm just gonna cut it. It's in the way. Because it wouldn't go down. Right. So I cut like a chunk of my hair out, and then I was like, Connor, what, did you cut your hair? I'm like, no, mother, of course I didn't cut my hair. She's like, there's a piece missing. I'm like, I think it got trapped in the door, is what I said. she's like, you're telling me that it got stuck in the door and it with enough force that it pulled your hair out? And I was like, of course. And so she's like, let's try it again. And I'm like, oh no. And I've never prayed for more in my life that my hair gets ripped out. So we go to the door, the hinge. She's like, first of all, she's like, how did you get your head in the hinge at the end? And I'm like, I have no idea, mother. So I put my hair in the door and I close it. And of course, no hair falls out. And she's like, what happened, Connor? And she's like, okay, mum, I cut it because it was annoying me. She's like, why did you do that? I'm like, I don't know. It didn't go down with water. That's what I normally do. And she's like, well, you didn't need to do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, shit.
Mine started earlier when I was like still in like nappies and stuff like that, right?
Oh,
It was
really?
like, yeah. Like, because I had this really, for some reason, I had the fear of sitting on the toilet for some reason. Like, because I think what it was because I think I was like 2 or 3 years old, right? It's like the last stage of you still wearing nappies, right?
Yeah.
And like, I really hated taking a shit. I was really scared. And I think it's because, I think my mom explained it to me later. She was like, I think you were scared not to like actually sit on the toilet, but to like flush the toilet because you thought you were gonna get sucked in as well.
I mean, not gonna lie, those airplane toilets.
Yeah. It's the airplane toilet fear, and I thought that same force was in my home toilet as well.
I had the same fear. I just fucking remembered this.
Yeah.
And it came from an airplane. Because you know when you flush the airplane, it feels like you're going to get like sucked into oblivion.
Yeah. When I was like 10, what I would do is I would like fucking close the door because you had like 2 seconds of you press the button and it goes 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So you have like 2 seconds to get out.
So I thought I had that in my home toilet. So at that point, 2-3-year-old me was just like, I figured out a resolution. Just don't shit. Just don't. I'm wearing nappies.
Isn't that like a South Park plot?
Yeah. It's like, I'm wearing nappies. Just don't shit. But like, you know, at that stage as well, I was too embarrassed to admit to my parents that I literally just shat in my nappies.
Yeah.
So what I would do is like I would hide behind the couch and kind of just like subtly do it behind the couch. While my parents weren't looking. What the fuck? And my mom would like walk into the living room and be like, Joey, what are you doing?
I would try and get a refund on the kid if they were doing that.
It's like, Joey, what are you doing? And I'm just like, nothing. It's just like, you're pooping, aren't you? And I'm like, no. Meanwhile, my face is straining like, no. And my mom's like, I can literally smell the shit from here. What are you talking about? Go to the fucking toilet.
Oh my God.
I would literally do that for like the longest time until like finally, you know, you get to the stage where you have to get out of nappies, right?
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, for the first like, I think like
you prolonged that as much as you
for
could.
the first like 2 or 3 months out of nappies, I dreaded having to take a shit. I'm like, oh, I have to like psych myself up, being like, all right, I'm not gonna get sucked in today. You can do it. It was horrible.
Man.
Honestly, I still have a fear of going to the toilets on airplanes just because of that noise. Like if I
don't mind. It's just not pleasant.
It's not pleasant. Yeah.
It's like I just get like a small fucking flashback every time I hear that noise. I need to wear like fucking thick headphones every time I go, man. I'm turning that music up loud.
That's what noise canceling headphones were invented for.
Exactly.
Damn. I feel like, because you were saying that you never like lied. Were you never lying like your whole like up to like 14 or whatever? Like when did you start like you realized you could lie?
I think it was when I realized my parents lied to me. And I'm just like, I can't believe they've bamboozled me like this.
I just realized that, and I was like, oh, I probably started to like lie a lot more from a younger age because I had brothers.
Yeah,
right.
Because like you're constant, like you can't lie to your parents because they're your parents, right? They own you.
Yeah,
you don't get to like talk.
Yeah, because I didn't lie to my fucking parents. Like I said, like I got caught.
Right.
The first time I attempted this. So after that, I was like, this is a loser's game. I'm gonna lose when I try.
For me, it was like when you'd like go visit a friend or something, and you'd like, you know, the friend would be like, oh, you know, I'm just gonna say to my parents that we're here to do homework or whatever, but you know, we'll just go to my room and play games. And I was like, no, that's not gonna work. My parents would immediately see through that shit. And I would see my friend doing, being like, yeah, we're just gonna do homework. And the parents like, okay. I'm just like, you can do that? Oh my God. I'm gonna do that from now on.
Yeah, I think because when you have like siblings, it's like, I don't know, I feel like you end up having to lie because you're always fucking fighting and arguing. So
right. And but like I was such a terrible thing because you have older brothers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, because I was the oldest in the family, so I had to like teach my sister to be like, listen, you can lie to the parents. I've seen it happen. I've done it before. She's like, oh my God, thank you, brother.
Parents hate this one trick that people know.
Oh my God.
So bizarre.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't like. To me, learning I could lie or learning that people lie was like watching that like one life hack YouTube video that was literally an actual life. That was actually a literal high life hack.
Oh my God.
But no, I feel like that's why some people are just like so bad at lying, because sometimes you play a game of Among Us, you can tell who the good lies from the bad lies are. I think I've always had this, you know, this fear like ingrained to me from a kid that I shouldn't lie, and even as an adult I have a harder time lying than some other people.
Yeah,
that's why I hate playing games like Among Us and like Werewolf and shit like that, because I just can't lie.
Yeah, but isn't it a fun place to just like, you know, Just to have like a safe space where you can all just fucking lie and like laugh at each other. And,
No,
like,
because
each other.
I'm like, I can't trust any of you motherfuckers.
No.
Like after this game is over, like I don't think I'll be able to believe anything you say.
Because it's fun, right? Because it's like you get to experience what it'd be like being interrogated if you committed like murder or something.
Why was that fun?
I don't know. It's fun seeing if you can bullshit your way out of it.
But you can never bullshit your way out of it. We should know this.
Sometimes.
That's why it's fun to watch interrogation videos rather than actually be.
You're like, I'm glad
myself.
I'm not that guy right now.
Yeah, true.
It's like the reason why I watch League esports rather than actually wanting to play League myself. It's funny to watch other people go through pain rather than experiencing it myself. That was a really weird tangent, but that's the closest. That's the closest comparison I could think
seeing
of.
people suffer, not me.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, who doesn't?
I don't know. I think the reason why Among Us did so good is because it did give a thing where you can be like, hey man, there's not many games out there where you can just like lie, and that's the whole game is like lying and deceiving, and that's fun to get to do that and like blow off some steam doing that.
I mean, I definitely do enjoy it. I've played like plenty of games of Werewolf. Well, I really enjoyed that. Yeah. Among Us, I just didn't get to play enough games to really get used to it. Because I was still at the stage where they were asking me what I was doing. I was like, I don't know what tasks I was doing.
I'm following the map. I don't know what the fuck is going on.
I like those games. It was fun when you would like realize after like 1 or 2 rounds, you're like, I know who the good liar is. Got to take them out, so they don't get to lie.
I'd say I never got to that stage because in my head I'm just like, how am I going to bullshit my way out of
this?
Yeah,
by the time I had started playing Among Us, there was already a fucking meta.
Yeah.
You know? Like
it's like, what task were you doing? And so. Okay, I know you're innocent. It's
like I just felt I was getting smurfed on.
I really enjoyed it, but I think after like the first 2 weeks, the novelty really wore off on me.
Yeah,
but obviously it didn't on YouTube because it was like it had like like 4
entire
5 months.
careers were created from that game.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything blow up that much in a long time. It's kind of crazy. I don't know.
I mean, it really. I feel like I started watching Twitch content way more after Among Us and Fall Guys really took off last year. And before that, I'd hardly had watched any Twitch streamers at all. Yeah. And the only live streamers I watched was like YouTubers, VTubers back then, but that was mostly on YouTube. So it kind of really, I feel like, I don't know if it's just me, but I like Twitch streamers like way bigger personalities than they were in 2019. I don't know if that's just my perspective. But I definitely see a lot. I definitely see a lot more Twitch people now.
At least, probably because we're on YouTube, right? And I think what has happened is that Twitch streamers, their content that's being put on YouTube is doing much better than before.
Right.
I think it's, before the biggest channels, would get, maybe 100,000, 200,000 views with their videos they uploaded. But, now the Among Us clips are getting like 5, 6, 7, 12, million views. And it's like, wow. Yeah. That is nuts.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because I still don't watch as much Twitch, but I see so many clips on my recommended and on my YouTube feed that I can't not see it now. Yeah. And I'm way more aware of what's going on, even though I hardly actually watch Twitch.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it right now. I really enjoy streaming so much. I don't know. I'm addicted
You're playing like Apex every day.
Yeah, I'm addicted to Apex, man. So much.
You found your new addiction?
Yeah, I have.
You're just gonna end up being like an Apex streamer.
Probably. I basically am at this point. Yeah. I don't know. It's just I feel like because right now what it is that I just want to play this game and I'm just like, all right, I just happen to put the stream on as well.
Yeah, see, like I can't do that because like my not stream gaming mode and my stream gaming mode is like completely different.
I agree.
In my head, I'm just like, if I'm not constantly commentating while I'm streaming, then I'm gonna look boring. Whereas if I'm off stream, I am fucking silent for 6 hours.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah. I mean, like, when you're getting filmed, I had to like really force like comments out of myself. But that's how I feel with Twitch as well, where sometimes I'm playing a game in Twitch mode. Sometimes I feel like I have to force myself to say something. This isn't like my natural default self.
I don't think that's normal though. Like no one normally just talks while they're playing video games to themselves. That's something that you actively learn to do.
I feel like sometimes you think at least, right? Or you... I don't know.
Actually, in some video games, I don't even I don't verbalize any of my thoughts, even in mentally. Because you can mentally verbalize your thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? Like I don't even do that. I'm just like I'm playing the game. And it's just all like instincts.
I only got used to it because I used to do Let's Plays on my channel. But like before that, like my first
you did Let's Plays.
Yeah, my first couple of Let's Plays, I was fucking boring as hell. Just because I was at that stage where I was like, okay, I have to say something. I can't just like keep advancing with the game silently because I'm on camera. But as I did it for like fucking 3 years or however long it was, I just kind of learned to be like, here's something I can say, here's something I can say, to the point where I found myself sometimes in my non-recording gaming sessions commenting to myself. And I'm just like, oh no, this is a problem. It's like 2 a.m. and I'm playing Final Fantasy 13 and I'm commenting to myself.
Commentating to
He's
yourself.
like, are you streaming, Sherry? No, why?
It's like, no. I was at my parents, no, because I was still living with my parents back in the time.
Right,
And so my
right.
parents would come in being like, who are you talking to? And I'm just like, oh my God, who am I talking to? There's no camera rolling. I'm not recording this.
Yeah, my parents thought I was, because I was always on Xbox voice chat talking to people. They thought when I started voice acting, they were like, oh, Connor's just talking to his friends on Xbox. So they didn't know what I was doing.
He's just talking in funny voices.
Why is he saying the same thing over and over again? Huh? Doing different inflections. That's really fucking weird. Oh, never mind. He's probably playing Xbox. Connor's a weird one.
Got some weird hobbies, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think my parents definitely, when I was a kid, they saw me as like the weird kid of the four.
Right.
They were like, he's the strange one, but normally things work out in the end.
He'll find his way.
Yeah, that's normally the way that it was.
I mean, like growing up, I sometimes I do wish that I did have brothers and sisters. Because I feel I don't know how you guys feel about your siblings, but I feel like there's nothing
I
that
wouldn't
can.
want to be raised without brothers or sisters. I think now that I've had them, I just couldn't imagine not being raised with siblings.
Yeah, same.
I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine just having to share everything though. That's
Well, you don't have to.
That's why how you learn to lie, right? Although I did have to share my Xbox, and that was horrible. We'd have to like swap every hour, and I'm like, I can't even get a good gaming session in here for an hour. Are you kidding me?
I mean, that's why I'm glad like the first like game console we got was Game Boy Advances because we had one each.
that was the first Game Boy. That was the first
Privilege.
console you got.
Yeah. Or any any console that we could actually share, right? Or wasn't like a two-player thing because we had like the N64 and stuff like that too. But
Yeah.
if you have two controllers, you can play together.
Yeah.
But can't quite do that on a handheld console, right?
True.
So it was fucking fun. Like, sometimes I'd want to get on the N64, play a one-player game, like fucking Donkey Kong 64 or Super Mario 64 or something. You can't play that with my sister.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, fuck, what do? We'll just get a handheld console and just play whatever the fuck games we want together. Problem solved.
Man, I miss being fucking stupid as a kid. I do because
I miss. I had this thought the other day. I miss how simple it was just to like find happiness in something.
right. So my first
Getting
game.
real deep here.
So my first game console or game device was a Game Boy Color.
Okay.
Right, and my parents bought it for me in France, and they were like, "What game do you want?" I'm like, "Pokemon."
Yeah.
I didn't know at the time. So it turns out the game was in French, obviously, because we were in France. But somehow still managed to complete the whole thing.
Wow.
When I was like 8 or something, and I'm like, I would not have the patience to fucking do that now.
No.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck was going on. I don't know what any of the moves did, but I think like 8-year-old me had just understood that this set of letters did this funny thing that did a lot of damage because I had just been playing it so much. So I think by the time I got to the Elite Four, I think nearly all my Pokemon were level 100.
Oh my
It was
god.
literally
my
just
God.
trial by fire, right?
It was literally just grinding, and I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? I'm so dumb. I wish being that dumb where I could just throw myself at something like that.
Yeah, like I remember because I got the Game Boy Advance, but the first couple of games I got were Game Boy Color games.
Yeah.
Because you could play the Game Boy Color games in the Game Boy Advance, which I was like, oh my god, technology.
Yeah.
But I remember like the part where I think about it now, where it's like I definitely had too much time as a kid that I could not sink into my adulthood was when I managed to on my Pokemon Sapphire cartridge. I played it so much that I maxed out the in-time clock.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Like,
What?
I found out that on Pokemon Sapphire, on Game Boy Advance,
Is it 1,000 hours? Or?
999 hours and 99 minutes is the furthest it will go.
Did you just leave this thing on
No,
24/7?
that's how much I played it.
I see it, man. When you're a kid, you just get obsessed.
Like, every
Yeah.
moment. Because, especially the Game Boy Advance, like, looking back on it now, this thing's fucking tiny.
Yeah.
Like, you could put that in, like, a jeans pocket
No.
or, like, a jacket pocket. You take it everywhere.
The best one, because I think it was literally when we were kids, was the Game Boy Advance SP.
Oh, the S.
Oh, that was
SP.
so good.
Only the cool rich kids
Yeah.
had that one.
Bro, the SP was like the best one because that shit, like, just it would literally fit in your tiny child jeans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
No,
fucking
I
loved that thing.
I remember one of my Japanese friends brought it to school once,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like, "Boys, check this out." It was like, "Whoa!" And it was like, "And it's got a backlight on it. It was like, oh!
That was
you
the-
can play
Oh
that at
yeah,
night.
the backlight. I completely
the
forgot
SP
that was
the first one
massive
that had a
thing.
backlight, and before
Yeah.
then you had to attach like those like fucking
The
reading
fucking,
lamps.
the fucking reading lights that had the awful
Well,
glare.
I think actually the first model of the SP didn't have a backlight. It was like the second model.
Oh, really?
Which is the more popular model, I think.
yeah.
But I had an SP, and I got one because my friend got one, and I saw him playing it. And for like Christmas, I was like, Mum, I want nothing more than a Game Boy Advance SP. And you know what game I played the most on it?
What?
Fucking GBA game. I played Pokemon Trading Card Game. Have you played that game on Game Boy?
Yeah.
It's so good.
It's fucking
Anyway.
right.
Yeah, I mean, I remember like, go
Sorry.
ahead.
Sorry, I had a finalization to the story. One time I thought, I was so addicted to this thing, right? I would literally walk around the house with it. I would sleep with it.
Oh,
right?
yeah,
I
of
would,
course,
like,
of course.
Yeah.
If I was walking down the stairs, I would play Game Boy walking down the
Yeah,
stairs.
yeah,
If I was
of
at the
course.
dinner table, I'd be there. If I was going to bed, I'd play it.
Yeah.
I would even, if I went to pee, I would play with it.
Okay.
So I would pee with it. One time I dropped it down the toilet.
No!
Not sure how it happened. I was playing Pokemon Trading Card Game because that was the cartridge that was in there. I was
Yeah.
playing it while I was peeing. You're like 12. You know, little dicks out. You're like,
Yeah.
all right, cool. All right,
Yeah.
I don't know how I dropped it. I dropped it, and I was like, how do I explain this to my mom? How do I tell that I don't have a Game Boy SP anymore? And it didn't work. And
Did you lie?
no, because it smelled of piss as well. I for some reason I checked if if Pokemon Trading Card Game still worked. Still worked.
Of course.
Of course.
So I plugged it into my the old Game Boy Color I had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so I had to go to my mom. I was like, Mom, so this is kind of like embarrassing, but I dropped my Game Boy down the toilet. And she was like, how did you drop your Game Boy down the fucking toilet? And I'm like, I don't know. I just really enjoy playing it. And my family fucking rinsed me for like 5 years.
Well,
They
yeah, if
wouldn't
that was
let
my
me-
kid, I'd fucking rinse him
Yeah,
too.
do you know how expensive a Game Boy
Yeah.
Advance SP is
They-
at that age?
Yeah, but they loved it purely for the comedic purposes. Every time we'd meet someone, they're like, this is Callum. He's very successful, very smart. This is Connor. He dropped his Game Boy down the fucking toilet. And I was so sad for like 4 months. I was literally every window. I was like, what do I do?
Did you ever get another one?
I did 6 months later for my birthday. I was like,
Wow, really?
I'd
Yeah.
wait. I'd like literally. I remember like for 6 months, I was like playing Game Boy Color again.
Yeah.
Just playing Pokemon Trading Card Game and other shitty Game Boy.
Your parents are
Yeah.
nice, man. If I did that, my parents would never buy me a game cartridge again.
I think they felt so bad for me because of how like distraught I was, and I think they thought I was gonna get over it, but I was sad for like half a year.
well, yeah, it's like
I
dropping
wouldn't
like a
get over
fucking.
that.
It's like
Yeah.
dropping a
Yeah.
laptop down
Yeah,
the toilet.
yeah. I was like, I could not get over it, and I think my parents at some point were like, all right, I think we should get him another one. Or maybe he's like not going to recover. Maybe he's never going to let this go. And I wouldn't have let this go.
Yeah,
But-
because like for me, Game Boys were the only game console or like handheld consoles that I could actually get every game I wanted,
Right.
and that's because every year we visit our family in Thailand, and
I know.
there's always like that one store that my parents would take me to, and it wasn't a legit Nintendo store.
Really?
But-
Really now, God.
I don't know if you could tell, but you basically go in the store and they didn't have the game cartridges. They would just have just a book.
Yeah.
And you'd go for this book and you'd tell these people which games you wanted.
Right.
So like my entire life, I would have to wait like a fucking like 1 year to get 2 games. One was for Christmas and one was for my birthday, and that was like the N64. Game Boy was like this was like the early Steam sale.
Yeah,
Like, I would just
like the humble bundle.
It's free real estate.
yeah, I would just come in every year and be like, motherfucker, I'm about to buy 15 games for like $10 or something like that. I felt good.
You know, like the Chad, like fucking, like I'll take everything from here to here, please.
It was such a good childhood experience. Just to sit down and I would be there for about 2 hours, and they would like every game would have a different code. I would fill up this like A4 piece of paper with just codes. I'm like, mother, give me all these games, and I wouldn't even play all the games.
Oh, yeah, of
but
course.
it just felt good buying them. I felt rich for once.
It's because there was so many. I don't know what it was about the Game Boy Advance where it was like, didn't know there was a game with that, but there is on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah.
Like-
Well, I used to trade games with the other kids.
Oh yeah, I did
Oh,
that
yeah.
too. Yeah.
Just the games that I was done with like Scooby-Doo Adventure, I'd be like, well, I'm pretty okay now playing this again.
If we go back to the lying thing, I've lied to one of my friends.
No, what did you? Why?
So I had this fucking like Mickey Mouse game on Game Boy Advance, which I fucking hated. I don't know where I
Did you
got it.
hustle some kid?
I don't know
Did
where
you
I-
hustle some 12-year-old?
I don't know where I got it from. I think I got it from like a cousin's hand me down or something, right? But it was like it was in that bundle of like 2 or 3 like shitty like not known IP. Why does this exist? Type of Game Boy Advance games that you get, and one of them was this Mickey Mouse like fucking platformer game. I don't even remember what the fuck it was, but yeah, I was in school. And my friend was like, "Oh, I got the new." This is when Emerald came out,
Right.
but so I had Ruby and Sapphire at the time, right? But I didn't
Yeah.
have Emerald, and I was like, "I really want to play Emerald."
No.
So I was like, and his friend, my friend, wanted like to play this other like I don't know if it was a Pokemon game or a Mario game or something, like one of the mainline games. He's like, "I really want to play this," and I said, "Yeah, I got that game."
No.
So what I did was I had the thing is I did have the game, but I didn't want to give it to him.
Yeah.
But I had the box for it.
No.
So I did
Mickey
it.
Mouse
I
in.
fucking debated him and I slipped the Mickey Mouse game into the Mario box. And I was like, "Here you go, mate, in box. Don't have to check it now. You can check it when you get home, mate." And I took the Emerald from him, and I still have that Emerald cartridge to this day.
Wait, did his mum not call your mum up, or like be like, "What the fuck, your kid scammed my kid"?
I don't know. Maybe he really liked the Mickey Mouse game. I don't know.
Because in the UK there was these like you'd have like footballer cards.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
You would
Like
be
fantasy football
be
kind
like
of thing?
Ronaldinho,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know who was good. I didn't care about football.
Right.
I just
Yeah.
wanted the best stuff. Because I was like, it's a game. I want the best.
Yeah.
And I was a real hustler, man. I would do deals. I'd be like that stockbroker being like, I can give you this. I can give you that. Maybe, I don't know. And one time, I remember I was really annoyed because this one kid, he did a really stupid trade with me. And I was like, sucks to be you, man. Why did he gave me like one Ronaldinho for like some 2 players that were terrible. And I was like, profit, stonks. And I went home, right? I thought, great. I'm looking at my collection of cards. This is amazing. I've done such great business today. I was literally like Trump, out of the deal at school.
Yeah.
Making good trades.
Yeah.
And I'm just chilling at home, admiring my collection. And my mum comes in being like, "Connor, what have you done?" I'm like, "What have I done?" It's like, Tim's mum has called up. She's furious. Apparently you stole a card from him. Like, I didn't steal a card from Tim. Tim's a fucking liar. Tim gave me Ronaldinho for 2 of these shitty players. She's like, "Really?" And I'm like, yeah, get him on the phone. I'll tell him what happened. And so I'm arguing with him and he's like crying on the phone being like, "That wasn't a fair trade. You scammed me." I'm like, "I didn't scam you. I don't know who's good. I just saw that this guy was shiny and you gave it to me." And then I had to apologize and give it back because he made a dumb trade. I'm like, that kid got lucky.
That doesn't happen in the
I'm
real
like,
world.
the real
kid.
world,
Yeah.
that guy never would have got his money back.
Yeah.
He deserved to take the L there.
Yeah.
I was so pissed off. I was like, "Mum, you interfered in my negotiations. Do you know how irresponsible that is? That kid should have learned the hard way that he made a bad
Your
trade."
mum literally did like a CIA drug bust on you. I was like, dun, 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 over the door.
Even like 12-year-old me is like, "I think he should deal with the consequences of his bad deal."
He agreed to it.
He should learn now that this shit hurts when you make a bad deal. Like,
He needs to learn a valuable lesson.
Yeah, he learned the hard way.
clearly, his mum is coddling him too much and helping him. What is this, like the fucking Melvin Capital? Like the fucking the stock trade? What's the American stock trade? Like people who watch the things being, no.
Oh, fuck.
GameStop's getting out of hand. We have to stop this. No. They literally did that to me. This is fucked up. It's terrible.
Yeah,
I was furious.
I kind of like this, like talking about this is bringing back memories for me as well. Because the only time I've ever like tried to hustle people was during like the Pokemon card era.
Yeah,
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
There was so much. I think it just got normalized that just kids would just try to hustle each other.
I'll give you 100 energies for Ho-Ho. Please.
I swear, like around the world, we had like the fucking like the big like cocaine thing in the 80s, but like the 2000s was like the Pokemon card equivalent, and like everyone was like
You don't
I'm
know
gonna fucking scam everybody for this.
You don't know real hustle, man, until you've been in school trading Pokemon or Pogs or whatever the fuck it is. That's where the real negotiations happen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. That's where I learned the art of the deal.
Because
I learned from the streets.
I learned the hard way.
Because I remember when I first started getting into Pokemon, I just had like the worst gacha luck. You know, I was buying so many expansion packs. I got nothing.
Yeah.
So I had like no value that I could trade with. So I'm just like, what can I scrounge up that I could sell to people with value? So going back to the old like game cartridges that I would always buy.
Right.
So I knew, right? Even as a kid, I knew like those game cartridges that you get that says 400 games in one game cartridge. I would always buy them and I'd try playing them, but you know they would have like the shittest games.
And it's normally 30 games or like 30 games that repeat.
Yeah. It was like 30 games from like a game that was like a Chinese ripoff from like the older generation.
And there's like
cartridge.
8 different versions of Tetris on it.
Yeah. So I'm just like, I don't need these in my life. I'm gonna try to sell them. I'm gonna try to hustle these for Pokemon cards. so because I got these in like Southeast Asia, they I don't know what it was like in your town, but like you couldn't really get like knockoff game cartridges or knockoff games where I was.
I only ever like saw them once, and my mind was blown. I was like, how the fuck did you get this?
Yeah. So I would go up to kids on the playground and be like, yo, you got a Chinese Charizard? Let me introduce you to my game cartridges. Yo, this game cartridge has 30 games on it.
Going off the recommended retail price of one game, that could be up to $10,000.
So I basically pawned off these cartridges that I wasn't going to play for shiny Pokemon cards. And that's how I got, like, at one point, the most, like, shiny Pokemon cards on the playground. And then I left 3 of them in my, like, fucking jean pocket in the wash. And they were just gone.
Oh, no.
Worst. I used to do something similar to that, but with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Because Pokemon cards got very quickly banned from my school. Because like all the kids would just like, even during class, would just be fucking playing around with it, right? So we were like, all right, well, the teachers already know what a Charizard looks like.
They're in on the inside.
But they don't know what Blue Eyes White Dragon looks like.
Pot of greed looks like.
So let's move on to Yu-Gi-Oh cards. And I got so into like the hustling of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, like to the point where like it was the peak of fucking, you know, Obelisk. The fucking like you collect the 5 pieces of Obelisk in your hand and you like automatically win the game, like that level.
You
remember that? Oh, Exodia. Sorry,
Obelisk.
Yeah, Obelisk is a different one. Sorry, Exodia. Yeah, so it's the 5 pieces of Exodia, right?
Yeah, that was like a starter deck that you could buy.
Right.
So everyone had Exodia.
Yeah.
Right, but not everyone had all the pieces, right? Because the Exodia, because you usually in those starter packs you get 1 piece of Exodia.
I remember in the UK, I don't know why I distinctly remember this. They literally sold a deck that had all the 5 pieces of Exodia that you could buy for like $20. Yeah.
Because for us it was like the starter pack was, or the booster pack was like you'd maybe get 1 piece of Exodia.
Yeah, those booster packs, those were like starter packs that had all of them.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We didn't have that luxury in Australia. So the only way someone could physically get all pieces of the Exodia was to do a bunch of hustling and trading and get all the pieces. And so as like a 10-year-old, I had like 1 Exodia thing, but I was like, I love this guy so much, I want to collect all of them. All my friends have all these other pieces, but they're not going to trade it to me because they realize the value of Exodia on this market right now. So I dead ass went up to my dad and I was like, Father, you work for a printing company, don't you? You have high quality printers at your work. Here's some PNGs of Exodia. Could you print them out onto card paper and give them to me?
Yeah.
And he full on like printed out these like pirated fucking Exodia, like, and they were like shitty like 240p qualities of Exodia, right?
Yeah.
But as a 10-year-old, you don't know the fucking
Holy
difference.
shit, I just got mad flashbacks. Holy fuck.
So I would come to school and I'd be like, boys, I have all 5 pieces of Exodia
like
in my
terrible,
hand.
like printer ink
One of them is in like 1080p and the other is like 3 pixels. And kids are like, whoa! It's like, I can trade them off to you as well if you want.
Man, I remember that like I really, really wanted like, I think there was like Element Heroes or something and there's like Yu-Gi-Oh! XD collection or something.
Right.
And my friend had them all, but I wish I looked a little closer. Because he traded me them, and I was like, yeah, I want them really badly. Mm-hmm. And then I got them, and I was like, oh wait, the description's really weird. And it was all just like gibberish, like fake Chinese sounding stuff. And then I realized when I looked a little closer, it was like printed all like fucked. And I was like, wait, I just got hustled. Yeah, it was all fucking. I was like, I was so sad. I was like, where the fuck did
You
he
literally
get
got
these from?
scammed into a Chinese knockoff.
But like, you feel them, they look good. It doesn't look bad. But then you look at the quality a little more, and you're like, oh wait. And then
enhance.
and then you see like the text, and you're like, why is that weird fucking like Chinese sounding ass thing?
Do you want to see something like, if you want to see something anxiety inducing, right? So I remember I talked about Ristic Studies before about how he makes magic videos. So in his Black Lotus videos, so like Black Lotus, I think like one of the rarest cards you can get in Magic.
Right?
Most expensive card. So he talks about how you would like figure out what a fake one is to a real one. And apparently one of the ways they used to test this is called the bend test, right? Where you would take this card and you will literally have to bend it like imagine this is the card, so you literally have to bend it there, and if it's a real card it won't crease at all. But seeing this like $2,000 card being bent like that, no matter if it bends or not, I get anxiety, and I have zero knowledge about Magic or any or any investment in Magic at all.
All I know is that there's a video where a guy's just casually talking and he's opening packs, and then he opens it and he gets a Black Lotus and he starts like like that. It's so funny. He's like casually talking and then just starts freaking out. I gotta find the link to that clip. It's so good.
And then the other one is, holy boosh! That's a freaking Black Lotus! Holy God!
That's like the one thing I've been enjoying about like this resurgence of like opening Pokemon cards. It's just like
how did that start?
People
again?
just like casually talking and then just pulling something really rare.
People turned it into gambling. That's why it
Yeah,
returned.
pretty much.
Because if you turn anything into gambling, it's 10 times more fun.
Is this how people feel when they watch us roll for fucking gacha waifus?
Yeah, exactly. This
Yeah.
is why I went on a rant.
This is why gacha streams for a long time did so fucking well.
Yeah.
Because people love it when, like, that dude who fucking, that Japanese, like, streamer who was, what was he fucking doing? He was doing Arknights roll.
Yeah, there's a guy rolling on Arknights. He was dressed up as Yugi. And,
Yeah, that's right. And he had life bar.
yeah, every time he did a gacha pull, like his life points would go down. The Yu-Gi-Oh like would play, and he was like screaming.
He did like the full like voice acting.
Yeah.
I was like, "Ah!"
Yeah, he was voice acting, and then he was like, and when he pulled every time, he would make it sound like he was like summoning an.
He's like, "Draw!"
yeah, he would like draw. And
That
then
sounds amazing.
It was fucking amazing. It's so
it's
funny.
a really fucking good clip. It's
Yeah.
so funny. Hopefully, we can play it for like 1 second.
Yeah.
It's really
Yeah.
funny. I'm like, God, that's way too much effort.
Yeah, I can't be bothered to like come up with like exciting things like that for streams, like, which is why I'm always impressed with like how recently you've been doing.
I mean, I
really
feel
well on that.
like at that point you have to treat streams the same way you treat YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's what I do sometimes. I mean, right now when I'm just playing the like Apex over and over again, I don't really see it that way. But like,
Right.
you know, when I'm doing certain things, I do think of it as like, oh, just think of it as if you're making a video.
Right.
Yeah.
And then just talk to the audience that happened to also be watching you make this video. That's
Yeah.
the way I see it. And I think that when you think of it like that, it's a lot easier to actually make good content live streaming. But if you don't have that frame of reference of how does it feel to make a video? Because obviously we have like 5 years of experience of talking to the camera and making a video. But if you've never had any of those, it's like, how do I explain how you should behave?
Yeah.
Make good content. But then again, I think I have still like a lot that I can improve on. So I'm getting there.
I mean, it's a different
I'm truly
field.
enjoying it right now.
It's a different field, but the way I see it is that, you know, I think either of us can become successful streamers. I just think I don't have the energy to put into it because I would have to use the energy that I put into making YouTube videos into making Twitch streams. Make them like cool and unique.
Well, I mean, there's so many YouTubers who end up just stopping YouTube and going to be a Twitch streamer or vice versa, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's normally YouTubers become Twitch
For me,
streamers.
the one thing that is just stopping me from making that transition is the fact that I wouldn't be able to take a vacation.
Yeah, that's like YouTube, you know, like before I moved to Japan, you know, people didn't know that I didn't do any work for a month because I was busy doing stuff, but I prepared enough videos in advance where it looked like everything was running perfectly smooth, you know?
Right.
But I was able to take a month off.
Exactly.
Which is like, oh my God, that's nuts.
Yeah, you can't. You take a month off as a streamer, like you.
people would
fucked.
know.
Yeah.
You just disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why, like, I don't know, right now it's just like a fun little side hobby right now. But, you know, I've noticed that I used to, you know, when I would do YouTube videos, once I finished with the video, I would think about, all right, what's the next YouTube video I'm going to make? And I would think about it all day. What am I going to make? What am I going to do? Oh, I can make this. I can make that. But like now, I don't really think that way. I think like I plan what videos I'm going to do, and then I don't really think about them. I'm just kind of, until the day comes where I'm making it, I'm like, all right, time to make a YouTube video. Which I feel is more healthier in some ways, but it feels weird. It feels like I care less.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good thing. I don't know.
I've had to try and change my mentality towards that as well, where especially hanging out with you guys and just all constantly compared to you guys feeling like I'm behind schedule. And that's because I'm very like, my content is very like inspiration based. I find it so hard to work on a video if I don't feel like working on the video. I can't just like force the video out. So I have to basically try and schedule enough ideas ahead of videos I want to work on in order for me to be able to meet that like schedule.
See, I think inspiration is a little bullshit. I think you can't rely on inspiration at all.
Right.
I think, if you did what you did for the BBC,
Yeah.
you don't have a choice if you have inspiration or not.
Yeah, but it's a different.
Right?
I mean,
So
it's a
you make
different.
something.
It's a different career path, right? I mean, it's comparing like a office job to a creative path.
Yeah. But I think for any creative field, it's important to discipline yourself to.
Well,
force
yeah, of
yourself
course.
to
it's
work.
something you have to learn. Of
course.
It's just it.
If I get inspiration, it's fantastic. I love it, but it's so fleeting, and motivation is so fleeting as well. It's like you just have to discipline yourself to just work.
I'm kind of like halfway in between, I think. Like, yeah, of course, like if I have to, if, time is crunching and I have to record something in order to make the deadline, then obviously, regardless of if I'm feeling inspired or not, I have to do it. But for the most part, it's like I wake up in the morning and I think, okay, do I have to record today? Then, okay, I'll record. But if I don't have to and I don't feel like it, I'm not going to fucking force myself to do it.
Yeah, I mean, there's some days where my mood is so bad that it's going to come off in the video, so I just don't want to do it. But there's other day. But then also in that time, if I was going to make a video, if I can't do that today, I'll do something else that's productive that can force me to keep on top of things. I don't know.
But like recently, I feel like I haven't really had that choice because I think the past like 4 videos I've recorded this week have all been pre-scheduled. On like certain days and certain times.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I try and do. I try and leave a lot of videos that are in the works, a lot of videos that are ahead. So there's always something I can work on. I don't like to just finish a video and be like, all right, I got nothing. What am I doing? Like, what's next, huh? Like, I think it's good to have multiple things you're working on.
It's like you have to plan for the next one as you're making the previous one.
Yeah, which is also something that's quite difficult, at least for the way I used to work, is I like to do one thing at a time.
Yeah, same.
But now, I've got
I'm juggling like 7 different videos at once. Right?
Something like that. I've got quite a lot.
For me, I'm either working on 7 or I have no idea what I'm working on. And there's like no in between, and I need to change that. But that's why I feel like I find it so scary if I was a Twitch streamer, because a Twitch streamer, you have to start streaming no matter what mood you're in, and I feel like it's so much harder to hide that on a Twitch stream rather than a YouTube channel. Where
because you're constantly on camera.
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, I think the one thing that's even worse than starting the stream when you're in a bad mood is when your mood sours mid-stream. Holy shit, God.
Fucking call that.
Yeah, where you like start like all happy.
You'll start in like an hour, and then maybe you'll get like a text from someone that's like telling you like bad news. Or maybe someone will say something that's like real fucking mood, or maybe something happens, like the stream starts to go wrong.
Yeah.
Like when stuff starts going wrong whilst you're streaming, it is so much more mentally taxing than if then starting the stream in a bad mood, because you're like, it can't get worse. Right? I'm already in a bad mood.
Well, it's like it's like
games.
fucking up on stage in front of an audience, right?
Yeah.
Versus just fucking up in a recording booth.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
It's big difference.
Like some fucking clown. No, this actually didn't bother me that much, but like this is like an example of something that could happen. So like, whilst I was streaming one time, something happened on my Discord server where one of the mods made someone else a mod who was pretending to be a mod. So someone joined my Discord server saying, hi, for some reason, I'm not a moderator anymore. And they had the same profile picture and the same name as a moderator. And someone else on my server thought, oh yeah, that checks out. That makes total sense. Gave the moderator. And then they just start injecting a bunch of bots into my server and started like spamming it. So my Discord server completely got raided whilst I was streaming. And the whole purpose of this person doing this was to do it to people who are streaming live so they could get a reaction. So I'm there, it's happening, and all my chat is like, Connor, your fucking Discord's on fire, and I'm like, oh, okay, right. I mean, it'll get dealt with. Who cares?
Yeah, it's something you can deal with later.
Yeah, that's like that, but it's frustrating when everyone's like, bro, you need to look at this thing. I'm like, I don't really give a shit. Like, well, I'll deal with it later. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
But I was good because that guy was going around trying to film TikTok reactions of streamers getting angry.
Oh, really?
And I was like, glad I didn't know that at the time, but I was like, I'm glad I didn't fucking react because I was like, oh, okay, cool.
Sounds like an asshole dick thing to move.
Yeah.
Who does this shit?
Don't do that.
Yeah.
People want attention, right? It is what it is. Nothing new.
Yeah. Nothing new in the world.
just got to deal with people always looking to attack you.
Yeah, I get that sometimes. You know, I get every now and then these like obviously people who are just coming into Twitch chat just to fucking get a reaction out of you, just spam bullshit.
Yeah.
And the best thing I do that just works is like I respond to them, but in the most deadpan fucking voice ever. Where it's like
Your normal voice.
yeah, literally just my normal like talking voice, as if I'm like responding to chat. And sure enough, they eventually just go away because that's what they want in the end. In the end, they want you to be like, "How fucking dare you say something like that? You're such an asshole."
I don't really worry too much about it. I just do what I want to do.
Yeah, but like a lot of streamers who are just starting off, can't really process that, right? That you're just buying into the bait.
It's hard to wrap your head around that people are just going to do mean things to you and you don't know why.
Yeah. It's nothing personal.
Yeah. It's nothing personal. People just do this
and it's
for
sad
attention.
that that's part of the job, right? Like I could like, there's someone out there who I have no idea who they are. I have no interaction with them ever. I've never spoken to them. And for some reason, they just want to see bad shit happen to me. Yeah. And I'm like, that's really difficult to accept that that's a reality. Yeah. Because it takes you a few years, I think, to like actually accept that. Yeah. Right?
Absolutely.
Like, I don't know when I started just kind of like getting over it and just being like, all right, you know what? It's going to happen. I feel like it was like 2 or 3 years ago where I was just like...
Probably when it happened enough times and you just kind of get used to it.
Yeah, you realize you can't...
Sad enough.
Yeah, you can't do anything about it. You just got to, not let it ruin your day.
Yeah. You just have to, like, you think about it logically, right? You're being like, well, I've never interacted with this person. I don't know what this person looks like or what they're like as a person. They don't know what they look like, right? Yeah. I've never interacted with them. So they're obviously not saying all this shit out of any logical basis. Yeah. So why would I take any logical basis out of what they're saying?
True.
Right?
It's true. It also makes me sad as well because I'm like, man, if they actually just spoke to me, I'm sure they'd pretty see.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm a nice guy and they wouldn't want to do this. Like I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Speaking of assholes online, I want a quick rant.
Okay. Go for it.
Because I know we've talked about Attack on Titan like plenty.
All right, here we go.
All right.
It's the weekly Attack on Titan segment.
The weekly Attack on Titan rant segment. I'm getting so fucking tired of spoilers. It's gotten to the point now where my enjoyment of this is getting fucking ruined because of spoilers online. Like logging on to Twitter now on especially on a Monday. Right, it's like, and trying not to be spoiled on Attack on Titan. It's like trying to go to like a crowded hospital without a face mask and expecting not to get COVID. That's like, I've been spoiled now on so many plot points of Attack on Titan that I feel like, as someone who likes to binge shows and as someone who doesn't want to, I don't want to keep up with it like weekly, right? Yeah. But I feel like I feel like I'm being held at gunpoint just to keep up with this weekly.
And I feel you on that.
You should go through the wiki. And get every character name, and you should mute them on Twitter.
That's what I've done.
Oh, you've done that?
I've done that, and yet still, I would be on a random thread.
It seeps through the cracks.
There's no way to stop the cracks. And what I don't understand is why is it that, when we talk about spoiler culture, why is it that with a show like Attack on Titan, it's fine to talk about it as soon as it airs?
It's because everyone expects, all the Attack on Titan fans expect that everyone is watching it as the episode comes out. Right?
Because like with something like the Avengers...
So wait, you think it's not okay to talk about it after it airs?
I mean, I think there should be a buffer period. Like we had this for the Avengers. Why can't we not have this for Attack on Titan or any other TV show?
Was there a buffer period? I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, there was a massive fucking buffer period where like the directors and everyone was just like, please do not talk about the Avengers Endgame for like a good 2-3 weeks. And there is just no buffer period for like TV shows. And like we're living in an age where it's like on demand. So it's not even the same as it was before, where things are airing on TV and people are watching at the same time. Everyone's watching at different times. It's literally an on-demand service. This episode is sponsored by Bookwalker. Gentlemen, have you ever heard of Bookwalker before?
No. Explain it to me.
It is an official ebook store and app for digital manga and light novels.
Wow!
This is Maylene's collection right here. Oh my god, you've normied this out. That is not. I see Attack on Titan front row.
This is the least Maylene list I've ever seen. Okay, Maylene.
Sorry, go back to it.
Yeah, okay. Once you get the app on your Android or iOS device, you can view your purchases and read them offline if you download them.
And the best of all, you can customize the bookshelf like Maylene has. She's put the Trash Taste logo on it, like the true fan she is.
Most importantly, they are simultaneously releasing the Attack on Titan manga.
Is that a good manga? I've never heard of it.
Guys, stop talking. There's only 2 chapters left. So if you don't want to get spoiled, read it right now on global.bookwalker.jp.
The second to last chapter was just released 3 days ago.
What?
So check it out right now.
I'm going there right now.
Links in the description.
I'm going right now.
Attack on Titan is a good manga.
I just came back to confirm I'm reading the new chapter. It is amazing. It's amazing, Garnt. It's not good. It's amazing. Okay. Go and read it on global.bookwalker.jp right now. Back to the episode. I don't know. I really like the community aspect of, when an episode airs, everyone talks about it. I kind of like that.
No, but there are ways to talk about it in ways that are not spoiling.
Yeah,
and there are places, there are like open forums that you have to physically go and look up, right?
When I talk about the show on Twitter, I try not to mention spoilers.
Every tweet you've tweeted about Attack on Titan is fine because you're not spoiling it, but you still leave open for discussion, right?
Yeah.
But
I still mute it right away.
There are some fucking kids who just do not understand that, and they're just like, yeah, of course everyone is watching this.
Like, 4K picture.
Yeah.
I can't believe this character dies.
Yeah,
Oh my
exactly.
God.
And it's like there's like some motherfuckers who will literally like put a full spoiler and then like put a spoiler warning 5 minutes after they just spoiled the fucking thing they talked about, man. That's it's right now. Social media is like treading a minefield.
I've never understood the whole like spoiler warning at the beginning of a tweet. It's like, how about you just don't tweet it?
Actually, I honestly not gonna lie, it saved me a few times.
Really?
Because I'll read the top of it about a show and I'll see a picture and I'll quickly scroll because I'm like, all right, sick. That spoiler warning actually saved
to me, it's just the most pointless fucking warning.
It's better than nothing, right?
No, I would rather just you not spoiling it. To be honest,
But I understand, right? Because Attack on Titan. I wish I could tweet about like the details of the show a little bit more, but I know that because I have like quite a large following. I'm gonna spoil it for someone, so I don't want to do that.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But,
like I literally like every time
I do think that if you go on Twitter on a Monday in Japan and you haven't watched the newest episode, that's honestly kind of on you.
Thanks for the victim blame.
So if you guys don't know, Attack on Titan airs I think in the evening in America, but it airs at like 5 a.m. on a Monday for us. So first thing I do every Monday when I wake up is I watch the episode. I don't open Twitter. I don't do anything because I'm not being funny. I know the internet. They're gonna spoil it. There's nothing you can say here or ever do that will stop them from doing that. So why not just watch it?
I feel though that this Attack on Titan incident is like almost unprecedented. Like I don't think there's ever been an anime that has been where the amount of spoilers on Twitter has been this prevalent.
There's been none. And I remember because Attack on Titan Season 3 Part 2, I thought, I got spoiled on some like minor things, but
bad?
like
I don't see that many spoilers on mine.
I see it fucking
I see
it in
many.
the Twitter trending page.
Yeah.
Like that's how you know it's getting bad. When literally when you go to Twitter trending some weeks, and I've seen it, some weeks it shows you the tagline or the hashtag or whatever word is trending, and then underneath it gives the spoiler.
Okay,
and I'm like, what?
That is a little scary.
It's
that. Okay, I can understand.
That's never happened to any anime series.
That has never happened. Like recently, I got or like I knew like it's the equivalent of being like, yo, something's gonna happen with this character.
Yeah.
And, 9 times out of 10, it's probably a death.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a big death. And the problem is that Attack on Titan is one of the easiest like shows to spoil out there. Because all it takes is like one sentence or one word.
I'm pretty sure I've seen pictures of stuff of like, where like the current manga's at. And that like, I'm sure that I've seen very glimpses of it. So when I see it and I recognize a character, I'm like, I skip. But I've seen it and I don't know what it is. So I'm like, well, if I have no context to this picture, I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to be spoiled until the moment I see that frame.
I actually disagree about that.
Yeah, I disagree too.
Because like, it still like spoils your experience a bit because there's been like, for example, there's been so many like, let's say anime or manga or where you see like a meme panel, right? And this meme gets passed around and you don't know the context of it. But then you finally read or watch whatever shows everyone's memed about, and then it could be like this some of the most serious moments in like media has been like just ruined for me because I've seen the meme of it, and so the moment happens and it takes you out and be like, Oh, that was the moment they got memed. Like right now, I'm reading Tokyo Ghoul because I want to see if the Tokyo Ghoul manga readers are right. And I know when that fucking Kaneki panel comes up, I'm gonna laugh. Like I don't know what the context of it is,
Isn't that
but
fun, though?
it's not fun.
That's fun. I have fun.
Because to me, like I've had this happen where
I'm not saying that it's okay to post pictures from the manga. I don't think anyone should be fucking posting pictures from the manga.
No, but what I'm
But
saying though,
people are still posting pictures from the anime, fresh after.
What
the
I'm
anime
saying
just
though,
aired.
what I'm saying though is that people should just avoid posting it entirely because even if you like read the spoiler warning and you see the picture for like a fraction of a second, right?
Yeah.
Like, and we're just like, no, I'm not gonna watch it. Somewhere in the back of your head, that image is subconsciously planted.
No, it is, right?
Yeah.
But here's what I've realized, right? When you see an image of a show, right, that you're really into, and it's like it could be ages away, you are making your own theory in your head of why that image is happening.
Right.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, right?
Yeah.
And so most of the time you're going to be wrong, right? You're not. It's not going to be accurate. So are you technically spoiled because you've sort of seen something that's given you a vague idea of what you think could be happening, but you could be totally wrong. Are you spoiled then?
I honestly want to come into a show with as
No,
least
I'm
like
saying-
as
yeah.
zero expectations
Me
as
too.
I can.
But
Okay.
what I'm saying is that like if seeing one frame of a panel of a manga or an anime, you know, obviously if it's literally a character dead on the floor, yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean
very
that's
obvious.
being heavily posted around.
Yeah. But if there's, you know, a shot of something happening that I can't quite make out, I don't look at it long enough, I just have some kind of vague feeling in the back of my head, I don't really think that's a spoiler.
Because something like that happened when I decided to finally watch Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
And like, you know, the first example we ever had of that was when episode 19 was trending on Twitter, right? And everyone
Yeah.
was posting pictures and GIFs of that scene.
Yeah.
Right? And of course, because I knew immediately on the trending page, it says Demon Slayer episode 19. And at that point, I hadn't started yet, right? And I'm like, well, I eventually want to get to it. So obviously,
Yeah.
I'm not going to look at it. I'm going to try and avoid all pictures. But obviously, when you're on Twitter or when you're on the internet, you're going to see like fraction of a frame or a fraction of an image, right? And not going to lie, when I finally caught up to Demon Slayer and I got to that scene in episode 19, I was like, this is impressive, but I feel I would have been even more impressed if I had no idea that this was coming,
I had
like
no
everybody
expect-
else. If
and-
I had no experience
Yeah,
in
and,
it.
and
But
I,
does it take away?
A little bit.
it does take.
To
away.
be honest.
I feel like it does absolutely take away.
I can
from
understand
it.
that, but I don't know.
I was like,
And-
this is epic, but this could have been fucking mind-blowing like it was for everybody else
Yeah.
who
Yeah,
watched it.
because I mean, like I said, we've thought about spoiler culture when something as big as the Avengers was aired in
Or like
cinemas.
Game of Thrones as
But,
well.
but that you could argue that when it is such a big moment in any media, that obviously it deserves to be talked about the moment it happens. That you're like, oh my god, please tell me someone else has watched this. This is insane.
But I feel like this, hasn't caught up with the culture right now because I could understand that, for example, when things were, airing on TV, you had one run of it and people would go around the water cooler and discuss what just happened. But now we're in a time when it's on demand. People watch things when they want to. And yet we still have the same idea around spoiling things as if people were watching things on TV because I don't want to watch things as soon as they I like binging it. That's
But
just
then
how
you
I
should,
enjoy it.
You should adapt the way that you go
Well,
on
this is why
Twitter.
I miss like dedicated forums, because with a dedicated forum on a show, right, you won't know anything about the spoilers of the show unless you decide to click on the forum.
No, because the way to adapt is just like I said.
How do you solve this problem on Twitter?
There is no.
This
there
is
is no
never going to
solution.
go away.
Yeah, it's never
so
gonna
why
go
not
away.
just adapt to what's happening? Because you can't change it all,
Because
man.
I don't
change
want
with the times.
Because I
boomer.
don't want to fucking wait an entire week for the next episode. I want to binge it.
Yeah. Because
I hate watching shit weekly.
The reason I said it was because when this idea came up for the Avengers, everyone was like, "Yes, good, finally,
That's
someone said
bullshit.
it."
I saw people spoiling it on Twitter.
Yeah, but probably not nearly as much as without that.
No, but the thing is,
I don't think it mattered.
Everyone got fucking shamed for doing it. Everyone was just like, "Yo, you did a bad thing. Don't fucking do this." Yeah, when we talk about TV shows and especially now with Attack on Titan, it's just everyone's just doing it willy nilly, and the mentality is, well, everyone's doing it, so I guess that's okay, and that's just
This is
acceptable.
such a hard topic to discuss. I wish I had more time to prepare an actual rebuttal. But I mean, I understand where you're coming from. I just think that in the age that we live in, now it's always going to be like that. So why not just adapt to what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I grew up watching anime and manga I mean, I've gotten used to just watching it in a bubble. I like enjoying like my entertainment in a bubble, and it's only recently that I've gotten a different kind of enjoyment to see, like to discussing it with friends and everything like that. But when it's something that's, I mean,
in a perfect world, right? You'd go in a coma, and you would wake up, and the doctor's like, bro, here's your Crunchyroll account. Here's Attack on Titan. And don't get up yet. Just pretend you're still asleep. Watch the rest of the episodes. And then leave. And then go on Twitter. That's the perfect world, right? Where you can experience it full run, no breaks, no weeks, no bullshit on Twitter. But that's just not how it works.
I know it's not how it works. I'm just all I'm trying to argue is that why is it like this? Why is it like? Why do people not have a problem with this?
I think
people do have a problem with it. They're just kind of like,
I think especially in times
can't do anything about it.
In times like now, right, where everyone's also at home all the time. You know, who are you going to talk to? Your mum about Attack on Titan? No, you're gonna go on Twitter and talk about it with your friends because everyone's at home.
Do it, but there's other venues to do that in. Isn't that the whole reason why fucking Discord was invented? Just so you can create a private room where you know the people you're discussing.
There
with.
are some people who. Not me personally. Who they don't really talk about stuff with their friends. They just like to throw it into a void, which is AKA
right.
Twitter.
Yeah,
but people like that need to understand that no one gives a shit about what you say. That's the sad truth.
I mean, like,
no one gives a shit.
What I'm trying to say is, if you want to discuss it, why not discuss it on like the relevant subreddits
I think
and stuff like that.
Probably where it belongs.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's a difference between discussing spoilers in a dedicated here's the episode just aired, let's just go on this thread versus let's just post screenshots and stuff publicly on Twitter that anyone can
It's the
see.
whole assumption that yes, everybody who is a fan of Attack on Titan and anyone who would ever search Attack on Titan is searching it because they're watching it weekly, and it's that whole misassumption where it's like, and that's why again, like, if you want to discuss the fucking, episode that just happened, do it on a private Discord server. Do it on a fucking subreddit. Do it on a fucking closed forum.
What we need is spoiler etiquette. We need a system in place where everyone just agrees, hey, this is how you're going to spoil it.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I was talking about. I was talking about...
Never going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, it's never going to
happen.
No, what I was trying to say is it's never going to get to a point where everyone follows this etiquette and everyone this is like a hard and fast rule that everyone will follow. No, all I'm saying is like, why is there no etiquette around this where people are just like,
this should be common sense.
Don't
so
do
there's
that.
there's also you got to take into the fact that 90% of people who are posting stuff aren't intending it so they ruin your day.
Right.
But there's 10% of people who are hoping that they get people who they spoil.
Yeah,
that they get enjoyment knowing that they ruin
what I'm saying is like what it seemed around the Avengers is that it was that 10% of people that the only spoilers you got were people who are really looking to ruin other people's day, right? But at least we can all point to them and say, yeah, they were an asshole.
Oh, so you want it to become more of a normalized asshole thing to post
like
any
the fact that
screenshots.
90% of people who are posting spoilers on Twitter about Attack on Titan aren't being called out for it, I think is the problem.
I do think it's, I mean, because the anime is arguably more it is more popular than the manga.
Yeah,
right.
I think it's a little dickish for people to post panels from the manga when you can just talk about them, not post them to Twitter, when you know that the majority of the people are anime only. Right. That kind of annoys me because that makes sense to me.
But even still, just keep it privately, bro.
I get it posting the anime because I'm like, all right, everyone's watching the anime.
I found it a real problem where the last time I streamed, literally the first thing I had to say was, don't ask me questions about Attack on Titan. Because the fact that people will like type to me in the chat immediately, like 5 minutes into me streaming, being, hey Joe, what are your thoughts on Attack on Titan?
Yeah,
I'm like,
that happens
well, I'm not going to fucking talk about it because why would you assume that I've caught up to it? Why would you assume everyone in this chat has caught up to it? I'm not going to do that. So to avoid spoilers, let's just not fucking talk about it at all. That's the best way to do it. You want to talk about it? Do it in your own fucking
I mean,
DMs.
like, it's a different conversation to say if how much spoilers do ruin a show or ruin something. I mean, that's a different conversation.
That's a good conversation.
I just wish there was some, basic etiquette.
You know what I was mentioning earlier about the picture, that when you see a picture or a frame or an image from an anime, you're like, oh man, I wonder what that's all about. Why is Kaneki throwing his head back? Why have you been doing that? I kind of think it's pretty cool when you when you have an idea of why this is happening and then it's totally wrong. You're like, oh, That's how that happened. I thought this was going to happen. I kind of like that. That's kind of cool. Not that I want, please don't do this. Please don't. But sometimes when it happens, you don't feel too spoiled and you're like, oh,
Yeah, but I
kinda
feel
cool.
it's a bit of a different story with the Kaneki thing, right? Because it's like in the manga, that's a really serious
Well, yeah, I
scene,
mean, again, it
and
depends on-
all I can imagine is you land. You know, like
That's all that's going to be
that's
playing in
all
my
that's
head.
playing in the back of my head, right?
Guy
But in
Fieri.
like the funny way, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
true.
it's just, it really does kind of like, it's not so much a spoiler, it's just kind of like the gap between what you expected and what actually happened is like a disappointment, right?
Yeah, because I feel like it really much depends on the show. Because, like, for example, I don't think it's physically possible to spoil JoJo. Like,
it's not. You can post a panel. You can fully explain what's happening in the scene, and it won't prepare you for actually experiencing it.
exactly.
I feel like, remember that time that Limp Dick fought Biscuit Soup and they kissed each other to death, and you're like, oh, is that a spoiler? Yeah, I mean, yeah,
That is how the fight ends.
Yeah, but it does, like with something like JoJo, it doesn't hurt your enjoyment of the
No,
series at all.
100%.
Part of that is the enjoyment of the series.
Honestly, it probably makes it better if someone explains what's happening
Yeah,
to
exactly.
you, and then you have to
fully
go
understand it,
and then
right?
you're like, oh,
But a character dying in Attack on Titan, anyone can understand that, and it ruins it.
Yeah, it's a minefield right now. I just wanted to go on a quick first world problem rant. This isn't actually an important problem. I just wanted to go on an off tangent.
yeah. I mean,
rant.
spoiler culture is pretty fun to talk about. You know, just discuss it. What's going on with it?
Yeah, because like, have you ever been spoiled on like any big plot points that has kind of ruined your enjoyment of any show, or you think you would like it more?
I'm amazed at some shows that I didn't get spoiled. Like with certain plot points in Attack on Titan, I am like, how the fuck did I not get spoiled on this? This shit was so goddamn obvious that everyone was probably talking about it, and I'm the only idiot that didn't know. I won't say it, but there are moments. In recent memory, I can't remember the last time I got spoiled.
I got spoiled on the Code Geass ending.
Oh no!
Which is why I'm so fucking passionate about this.
My condolences.
Which is
man.
why I'm so fucking passionate about it. Because I didn't even fucking finish season 1 when I got spoiled on that shit.
How did you get spoiled? What happened?
Because I was on some forum where they were talking about Code Geass, and I didn't realize that, there's a second season of Code Geass. And people were talking about, so, the last 3 episodes of season 2 was like, that was a crazy ending, wasn't it? I was like,
There's
2 seasons?
You could talk about the Code Geass ending now, right? It's like Bruce Willis at the end of. Everyone knows it.
Yeah,
right?
I guess I think my buffer is like 10 years.
I feel like everyone has seen it, right? You can spoil
Can we-
Code. Everyone, it's common knowledge, right?
Maybe we shouldn't, because otherwise we'll sound really fucking hypocritical.
Yeah.
I think once enough time has passed and a show is iconic enough, I think it is totally fair game to talk about because it's part of pop culture at that point.
Yeah,
like the
but-
Code Geass ending is universally loved and often cited as one of the best endings in anime.
Yeah, but
you should know how it ends.
To me, though, like that buffer is still too small, right? Like I can fucking go ahead and spoil like something like Soylent Green because that's like a 60-year-old movie, right? But like I feel Code Geass, it's like there are still kids today, coming in probably having no idea what the show is about, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want. Look, I've been through the pain, especially with Code Geass, so I'm not gonna say shit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I got spoiled on something of a similar capacity, I say. I got spoiled on, like, the halfway point of Death Note, where something big happens.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And that was a manga spoiler as well. That's
the worst. That's the worst.
that's kind
I feel that's worse than getting spoiled on the ending of Death Note.
that is worse than getting spoiled.
I think
on the
it's
ending of
worse
Death
than getting
Note.
spoiled by
because
the end.
that was the ending of Death Note
Yeah.
for me.
See, you can talk about that, right?
That's
That's so iconic. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's some things in anime, like, that is top
I feel
three.
like I need to like make a survey of this, and like depending on the survey results is whether I can spoil it or not, right? It's
I feel like
it's like, do 90% of people who know me know the halfway
It's
point
like
of Death
saying
Note?
that, like, fucking Walter White makes meth. Like, yeah, that's pretty, like, that's universally
is
known.
not.
Come
It's
on.
not even close.
I mean, I just think that after a certain point where something is so well loved and so well known and so universally, like, watched by everyone in said community, that it is just fair to just openly discuss it.
Yeah. By the way, please don't spoil Code Geass and Death Note in the comments of this episode.
It has been how many years since Death Note? It's like, what, 13?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like early 2000s, right?
2006.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Six, almost
Code Geass
16.
was 2007, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah. So it's been a long
I'm
time.
not going to do it just in case, but I think that it should be, you know, if I'm
What's your buffer?
if I'm an anime fan, I would be like, the first thing I'd be like, what do you think about?
Wow, you really just said that.
But, you know, there are some things, if you say you're like a fan of X genre, that you should know. Like if you're like, I love Bruce Willis movies, you should know that he's dead in Sixth Sense, right? Everyone knows. That's like the meme spoiler.
Let's just spoil all the big plot twists
That's
of like.
that is like.
But no, I get it. That's like
making me out to be that fucking bad.
No, I mean that's that. I get it because that's become like part of pop culture now. I would say.
Yeah,
Where-
exactly.
where-
It's not the show anymore. The twist is so iconic that the
that
twist
has become
Yeah.
part of pop culture
Yeah,
itself,
yeah,
rather-
yeah,
rather than
yeah.
watching the show.
I've
itself.
never seen The Sixth Sense, but I know the twist because everyone's like, because it's always used as like anecdotally, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's like the ending of the, you know,
Yeah.
shut the fuck up. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to watch it now.
Are you really not going to watch it now? It's still a
That's
really
like-
good movie.
I'm probably going to watch it at some point.
Yeah, it's still a good movie.
No, because like I feel like right now, how would you feel if someone spoiled Attack on Titan for you? Because
I think I'd be crushed and I'd get over it. You know what I mean?
Would you get over it? Because I was not over it when I got spoiled for Code Geass.
It depends how bad of a spoiler we're talking, right?
I'm talking like ending of Code Geass levels of spoilers.
Because
it's the ending of Attack on Titan. Someone spoiled the ending of Attack on Titan for you.
it depends what it was, right? Because if I feel like, because I already feel like it's going in a certain direction right now, and if someone was like confirmed that it was going there, I'd be like, kind of sucks that you confirmed my suspicion, but I'll get over it. You know what I mean?
Would you though?
Yeah, I mean, because I've been spoiled and stuff before, and I've been like, you know what? At the end of the day, the experience is still a banger, and this ain't gonna ruin it.
Right. I mean, look, yeah, like granted, like you know, I finished Code Geass, and even after knowing that spoiler, and
It doesn't spoil it. It doesn't ruin it, right?
It
the
didn't
scene's
ruin
so
it.
goddamn good.
It didn't ruin it, but I'm thinking of like the what if scenario of if I wasn't spoiled, like
Because
how
if-
much
if
of
a-
a mind
if-
fuck
yeah.
that would
If a scene is so reliant on the fact that you don't need to know this plot point, that
Yeah.
like the emotions, the voice acting, the music, the animation,
Yeah.
that all of that can't bring an emotional reaction out of
Yeah.
you, then I don't think it deserves, you know, to be like guarded in the first place.
But at the same time, I feel like it took something away from you. It took that fresh experience from you because there are shows like I've rewatched Code Geass, right? Fucking the ending is excellent every time out of none, but the like by far the most unique experience I had was that first time, that holy shit moment
Yeah.
where I experienced it for the first time.
Absolutely.
And you can only get that once.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be positive here,
Yeah.
man. I'm just trying to say, if you get spoiled, man, don't worry. It's at the end of the world. You're gonna be okay. The scene's still good. You know, it holds up. Don't worry.
Yeah, I mean, and there are even some shows where you enjoy it more the second time you watch it, but I still value having that first fresh experience when I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, it's that first moment that's so strong that you look back on it years later and be like, you know, it's that obligatory like, I wish I could erase my mind about X show so I could experience it all over again. You know, like
Yeah.
that to me that was Code Geass.
Yeah.
Because I was like,
Probably
I
because
wish.
you don't rewatch shows, which is
Yeah,
why you
you
don't
don't-
care. You take your one, you put in a zip folder, and you file it away.
Yeah, exactly.
compress that
Yeah,
shit.
You compress that shit and then throw it in the trash.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really. I've been spoiled, and I think that I'm in like the middle of like I care, but I don't really care. Like it's not going to take away my. If the show's good, I'm still going to enjoy it.
Right.
But I definitely feel that most people are on the end of I don't want anything spoiled for me. Don't tell me anything.
Yeah, I want like the full on experience, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I
I don't want
preferably.
someone, I'd rather the full on experience than someone just fucking paraphrasing it to me in a shit way.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm tired as fuck, so we're gonna end this episode right now. I hope you, guys enjoyed this.
You know who's not tired as fuck though? Our patrons.
they're not tired of supporting us yet.
Yeah.
Look at these
They're
great
hustling and
patrons on
bustling.
the
They're on that
stream.
grind.
Look at these great people.
I bet if
right
they
here.
traded my Pokemon cards to me, they wouldn't be a little bitch about it and ask for them back.
I bet they don't post Attack on Titan spoilers on Twitter publicly.
Yeah,
Thank you, guys.
don't
Appreciate
do
it.
that, please.
Appreciate it.
But hey, if you want to support us, then make sure to go to patreon.com/trashtaste. Also follow us on Twitter, the subreddit, and if you want to listen to our audio stuff, go over to Spotify.
Yeah. And I think that's basically everything, right?
I think that's
Who wants
it,
to do
man.
the outro today?
The host.
Didn't we just do the outro? Was that not the outro?
No, the
that
host-
that was an outro, was it not?
No, the final say.
Yeah, the final
Bye.
say.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Wow.
What do you mean we did an outro?
That was the most
See ya.
that was the most flaccid outro I've ever heard in my life.
I am flaccid, Garnt.